Man, feels like it's been ages.
It does feel like it's been ages. I think we've only missed 2 weeks in a row once.
Yeah.
We've skipped a week before, but we missed 2. So it's been 3 weeks since we recorded. Feels like forever. I miss it.
I miss it too. I texted you when you texted that this week that you miss it. I was like, man, me too.
Sometimes I don't. If we
that's fair.
Sometimes we'll miss a week and I'll be like, I'm cool with it. Like we didn't record this week. But my son on the way to church this morning was throwing shade because he was like, what episode are you on tonight? And I was like, I think it's 65. And he was like, oh, y'all slowed down a lot. And then he was doing the math in his head. And like we should be, if we'd recorded every week, because we're a year and 7 months in, we should have been around like episode 78 or 79. And so he was like, you've missed 13 episodes.
Oh, no.
In a year and a half. And I was like, well, when you put it like that. But, you got Christmas and Thanksgiving and, Mother's Day and other things. And we did record on Easter.
Or just life.
Yeah.
Or just life.
Kids' sports and vacations. And
yeah.
We took off to California forever last year. And
yeah, it was like a month.
It was not a month, but
it felt like a month.
It was a good while. It takes a while to get out there.
It does. By the way, you're looking healthy and good.
Thanks.
Look like you trimmed down a little bit. Got your summer bod coming on.
Yeah, I am. I'm eating more than I've ever eaten and losing weight.
I don't really understand how that works, but
I told my family that at Mother's Day dinner, and they're all convinced I have cancer. Convinced.
And wait,
here's the thing: if you have unexplained weight loss,
okay, fair,
you could, but it's not unexplained.
Yeah, okay.
I'm doing things to make my metabolism work the way it should, so I can eat more and increase calories, but actually drop some weight. So,
well, good. That means you can just smoke more cigars.
Yeah.
What are you smoking today?
La Roma de Cuba, Connecticut.
So I picked up a new one on the advice of the El Dorado guy. It's called the Hooten Young.
Hooten Young.
Yeah.
It's like a Hootenanny.
It's called the Paladin, Connecticut. Okay. It's from that's the name of the series, the Paladin series, and then it comes from Hooten Young cigars.
It's getting warm though. It is definitely getting into Connecticut.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's got a cool band on it.
Yeah.
It's got a little camo. I'll put it in my camera a little bit. It's got a little camo.
Next time we have some artwork with the bands, we got to be sure that one gets in there.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. But yeah, it's been golly, school's almost over. Mm-hmm. I'm thrilled about that. I talked about it just like briefly about something that was going on in our life. We are buying a home, so I'm pretty excited about that. Apparently, we're one of the few.
We're one of the few right now
in the economy that are.
Everyone loves you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, lots of change going on in our lives specifically, and I'm excited about it, man.
Yeah, we're in the throes of all things end of school. I mean, my wife's a teacher. You're a teacher, and your wife's a teacher. So we had college graduation last Friday for my oldest, my senior.
Was it at the college?
No, they do it at the high school there
okay.
in Paris. It's apparently they used to do it at the college, and they did it with everybody, all the graduates together. And it's like steep. Their stadium's not great. So it's like steep steps, and some people were telling me that they're like, if you have like grandparents coming to watch graduation, it's really hard on them.
In Greenville?
No, Paris.
Oh,
yeah. And so they this year it was at the high school in the gym, and it was only the high school dual credit graduates. They had a separate graduation ceremony for them. So it was nice. The high school my kid goes to seemed like it was half of all the graduates.
Jesus.
It's a big group.
That's good, though. That's good.
That's good, yeah. I mean, it's great. She's walking out the door with her associates,
Yeah.
So, and then we have kindergarten graduation this Thursday night for our youngest. We're got both ends. We got the engine and the caboose, and a lot of cars in between. And then the following Tuesday is high school graduation. So all the things, they're done with school. Seniors are done. They had their last day on Friday. They've got a few things to do this week. They got a senior walk tomorrow, and which I think is a cool thing. We never did that, but there was only one school, so it didn't matter. But they take them to their elementary school they went to and let them walk the halls.
Yeah. Do they go to all the elementaries or only the one that they went to?
Well, you have to sign up. And so my daughter was saying she signed up for the one she actually went to. And she was like, I shouldn't have done that. I should have signed up for the one where I have 4 siblings right now, the one in our neighborhood.
That's what I was going to ask.
I could have seen my siblings, but she just, she said you have to sign up quickly or you might not get a spot at the school you want to go to. So she signed up for the one. So she's going to the elementary school she went to, which she knows no one there anymore. It's years ago, right? But she will go to the middle school she went to is the one my wife teaches at and the one my middle daughter's at. So she'll get to see them.
Okay.
So they do a senior walk, then they do a senior sunset thing, then they got like 3 graduation practices, and like something else, and senior stuff.
As a high school teacher working, like you have at our school anyways, you have to sign up to work one major event. You can work the homecoming dance, you can work prom. I think it's like the Sadie Hawkins dance, or then you can work graduation. Mm-hmm. And I have always made sure that I sign up for graduation because
it's like the more fun one.
Well, I would say prom is fun, but like I had a daughter and going to prom, and I didn't want to.
Agree.
Yeah, I didn't want
prom. The kids are trying to be idiots, though.
Yeah,
it was a little more. Their parents are there at graduation.
Yeah, well, but like I wanted to make sure that she was able to be a kid in that instance.
Yeah, that's true too.
But like at graduation, like they kind of corral all the seniors in the gym before, whether it's outside or inside. Then you kind of get to walk around and kind of share. It's just like it's a nice teacher-student moment.
Yeah.
Because that's all the people that are in there.
Yeah.
All these people who have helped you as a student get through this step in the phase of life. So I enjoy working that one. So
do you do the teachers wear regalia at graduation?
No, we don't.
You know what's coming,
yeah,
don't you? Because you've heard me have this conversation. It is in the top 5 list of my pet peeves in the world.
I do wish we did, so that way I could post a picture and then just bother you, just irritate you.
Here's my problem, podcast world. If you know me, you've heard me complain about this before. This is you know what's coming. Those of you who know me, I got no problem with the teachers wearing some of them have doctorates. That's great. Wear their doctoral robe. A lot of them have masters. That's great. Wear your master's robe with whatever they call them, like the hooks or whatever, and because the sleeves are weird on your master's robe.
Yes,
It's got like this little
yeah.
and then you got the whatever the hang over. I forget. I've got mine brown because I was a business major.
Oh, okay.
Olive drab, whatever. My problem is in the school district we live in and where my kids go, they give the school board doctoral robes. Now, for the longest time, one of our good friends has his doctorate. He's a college professor. And so he wore his actual doctoral robe with the correct color bands on the sleeves, the correct hat, everything. All the rest of them are just in these doctoral robes with black bars on them because our colors are black and gold trim. And like, you did not earn that.
Yes.
There are kids not sitting in chairs in front of you because they didn't earn their degree. Yet you're up there. Like, does not, hear me out. It does not rise to the level of like military stolen valor, but it's in the same family.
You did not honorary doctorate.
Well, they didn't even get that. Like, if you get at least to get an honorary doctorate, you've got to go to a school and give a speech, and then they'll give you an honor, like the commencement speech, and they'll actually give you something for doing something. These people did nothing to put that robe on, and I have a serious problem with that. Like, I think in education of all things, like you literally are giving them an award, and like literally every year. And here's the thing: if everybody knew it was just for show, it might be a little less cringeworthy. But every single year when the school board posts their pictures, their behind-the-scene pictures, there's 100 comments on there. All of our school board members have their doctorates. Everybody's asking. Like, so there are people that out there think these people have doctorate degrees because they wear that robe at graduation. And it is wrong, and I will go to my grave saying it was wrong.
No, Shaq does not really have a doctor. He's not a doctorate.
No.
Although he did graduate with his master's degree.
I saw that from LSU, yeah.
Did you see what he said, though, as he was coming across the stage?
Charles Barkley.
Yeah. Shaquille, I hate Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like this season in the educational system.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun because like you have people changing positions. Then you're kind of like, oh, where does that piece move? Where does that piece move? There's a lot of table talk. And then there's like, oh, did you hear this? No, I didn't hear that. Oh, but I heard this. So there's a lot of, if you're in that realm, that's what happens a lot.
But in that realm and in all of these things we're going to, I need a program.
I saw you put this on there. I have no idea where you're going with this.
Yeah, top of the run sheet. I need a program, and I appreciate a program. that tells you what's happening next, because I just want to know how long I'm going to be there. You know, I appreciate two things during graduation and award season,
Right.
a program and a short speech.
Yep.
If you are asked to give a speech at a graduation, man, keep it short. Like, people just want to go. Like,
Yeah.
especially in a lot of these places, you're sitting in bleachers sometimes. Like, I don't want to sound too much like an old man, but I like having all these award ceremonies and band concerts, and even my my middle daughter, 8th grade awards. They got a list of every single kid getting an award in alphabetical order. So, you know, like, all right, we're at the M's, but that don't mean much. There's a lot of M's and S's, and we got a whole 3/4 of a page to go. But you kind of know.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I'm not going to argue that point at all.
It is the most anxiety inducing thing in my life to sit down at a performance or ceremony and not have a program.
That's tough.
It is tough, man. You just don't know. Like, and I know it's not realistic, but it's like, am I going to be here for 8 hours?
No,
Because sometimes it feels like it.
It does. Well, my daughter does like the 1-act play and the skits and stuff like that. And so they always tell you like which one's upcoming next.
Right,
and
right,
so I think the last time or maybe the time before, it had like a time on how long they were supposed to last. So like this one's going to be 3 to 5 minutes, or this one's, you know, this is a play. And so like they would put out to the side like the title and then skit. So you're like, okay, that's going to be 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the title, and then this is a play. So you're expecting 30 to 45 minutes.
Right.
So
That's
at
helpful.
least it's helpful. But yeah, the other thing about this that I like is this is kind of the time where you can like show any kind of, not any kind, but movies to your class, especially at the high school level, that are appropriate to the subject.
Right.
So I have, ever since it came out after COVID, Greyhound with Tom Hanks. I show that
I actually just watched that.
every year. I show it.
I watched that Friday night.
So I show it to my world history class because they're going into U.S. history next year. And then it kind of puts an end cap. If I didn't have the students, it puts an end cap on like U.S. history. And so it opens that door going into next year for that group. It's such a great movie. And it's only 90 minutes long.
Yeah.
Very, very minimal foul language.
Right.
No graphic nudity or anything. Like nobody's getting blown up or anything like that.
Most of the time they're on the ship.
Well, that's the entire show.
Yeah.
And so it also just shows, it's basically from the first person of Tom Hanks, and he's the captain of the boat. But then like also like you can kind of throw in some other things. Like I've been showing my kids, we had a long conversation, especially with my U.S. history class about the Great Migration to Chicago and after like Reconstruction era and stuff like that. So then I showed them the 30 for 30 Benji about Ben Wilson and just kind of the perspective of that. And that gets them so engaged because none of them have ever seen it. I mean, it came out like 06, 05, 06. And it just talks about gun violence in 1984 into the 80s, which is a reflection of what happened because of that Great Migration.
Right.
So, but it's a very interesting to watch them because they're this kid's age. I mean, he was 17. He was the best player, I think his name is Jimmy Vaccaro, who's the Nike guy, like ranks him number 1. And then this was a big case because his parents had Vaccaro come in and testify to court about his future earnings and what the hospital cost him and his family. And so like an Oprah's in it. So like a young Oprah's on it. A young Jesse Jackson is in it. And so it's a very like, it hits home for them. You know, because sometimes, like, you know, when we were in school, you got to watch Rudy. Yeah. That's what the coaches showed. The coaches showed you Rudy. Well, that doesn't quite hit home the same.
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, but like this is like a documentary style, and so like I try to show that, and we have questions that they have to answer and stuff like that, and it always brings up good conversation. So I really do love that.
That's better than what the elementary schools are doing. And like I don't speak for all elementary schools, and I get it. You're tired. My kids are a lot. And like you've had them for a whole year. I get it. But I wish they would wait to do the fluff stuff until the last week of school. Because like my kids did what I consider fluff stuff this whole last week. They're just like popcorn movie days. And like they did that for a week and now they got to go back to school for another week.
Yeah.
Because they got another 4.5 days. Like they're like, what are we doing?
So I'm going to toss this into the educational world, and teachers, don't murder me. Okay. Don't murder me. All right. I'm just going to toss this into the universe. But if the state continues to move the STAR test up, and actually when we're going to have we're going to invite Representative Money back on the podcast, and if he comes on, I'm going to pitch this to him. move the start of school to the middle of July or the second week of July, second to last week of July.
Yeah,
So around the 20th. Well, most of us have to go back anyways. So like you're already there. So instead of doing all the, all the days of in-service, just start school. Mm-hmm. So that way you can end that first week of May.
Yeah.
And then now the first summer that it happens is going to be awful because but then you get, you have your last week of May or first week of May, get out. And then you have the entire month of May to get everything you need to get done. And then you're going back.
Or just push the STAR test back to where it was. Because like this past week, it's the middle of May right now.
Okay.
This past week we were driving and my wife was scrolling her memories on Facebook. She was like, oh, a few years ago, this was my test day. And we're in May, but now it's in the middle of April. It's moved up a whole month.
The reason why they changed it, because I asked this question not too long ago, is because there were graduation requirements. You can't get the results back in time to require for graduation.
It's a multiple choice test.
I know, but
you
that's
can
why
get
they
the results in 4 seconds.
Not the English one because they write an essay. But like if you have a kid who's taking it right now, who's trying to graduate, like we just got the result. We're getting the results back this week.
I just hate that they moved up her test. And like, here's the dumb husband of an educator here. Like, history is all about like learning events and dates and things. Like having more time before you take that test seems like a huge help.
Yeah.
Having a little more time before you have to write an essay doesn't seem to have as much value.
Yeah.
Like you can still teach people how to write, but they've been writing their whole career.
Right.
In school. Like they're not learning brand new stuff. And like you've condensed the timeline to learn that brand new stuff. And I hate it for her.
Well, that's also what when I first started teaching, they had the English and the math test earlier. It was like where it is about right now in April. And then they would give the history and the science exams later on. So like the first week of May, first or second week of May. And then, you didn't get them back until almost dang near the start of school.
Right.
And so, and I'd originally also heard, this is years ago, I'd heard that they want to get the results back so they could give teachers contracts or not. But the problem is you don't get the results back until the summertime. So that was kind of
you can't do that.
Erroneous whatever. Like that's kind of a dumb reason.
Duh, Gina.
Yeah. But
they are still making ashtrays in school.
Did you bring it out here?
No, I should have. I'm not going to ask her. I got text my wife and have her bring it out. But it's funny because like growing up, it was a different world, right? Like the kids would make in pottery, like in art class, they would make an ashtray. It's a little bowl and have little things for that. Like so many people smoked.
Right.
Yeah.
It
would be one of these bad boys, but like in clay. And the teacher would have to take them home and put them in her oven and bake them or whatever.
Right.
Or go to the home ec classroom. And my first grader brought home this little holder thing. And like, Mom, it's a jewelry holder. And I'm like, no, that's an ashtray. We just pivoted. We're not putting little slots in them anymore. We're still making the same thing,
That's hilarious. So it really was a jewelry tray, not an ashtray?
I don't know what it was supposed to be, but it's, kind of ugly. He's in first grade. He doesn't listen to the podcast. It's cute for a first grader made it. And it's on her, bathroom counter right now with some jewelry in it. So, but it's still an ashtray, man. We're still making ashtrays.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's just funny.
I just can't. Whenever they bring that, so like you have these kids that are really, I'm teaching at high school. So like they bring those art projects in like that. And some of them are so good.
Yeah.
Like some of them are so good.
These kids are talented.
And then they sit right next to a kid and you're like, oh, it looks exactly like what you just described. I'm like, oh, you did that?
You did that?
It's
nice.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So you're not going to art school. Good.
Yeah. But yeah, we had an interesting week because our baseball team had finished up. We finished up the regular season. Now we're headed into the playoffs. But it's been interesting to watch my son as he is playing up this year. He's playing. He turns 9 next in July, and we're talking about like, what are we going to do with him again? Like, are we going to play in the same one? How's this going to work? And so we've been watching these other teams come across, and a lot of them are a lot bigger than him. And so it's like, but then like what our team is, we're playing up in a 10U division because that's the first time that you can have like a full kid pitch in the division we play. But it's like these kids are so much bigger than our team as a collective unit.
8 a coach pitch still?
So he would technically play 9U, but there's not enough 9U teams. So you can either play down and play coach pitch, which that's not getting anybody any better at that point. Or you can play up to 10U. But the problem is some of them are so much older. Yeah. Like you're playing 11, you should be playing 11 or 12U, and then you're playing down.
Yeah.
And so one of our kids got beamed by a kid that I don't know exactly how old the kid was. I didn't look at his birth certificate. He had a mustache, had some sideburns, child in the dugout.
Yeah, his kid high-fived him. got a wife with a baby Bjorn on in the stands.
But I was just like, man, that kid looks so much bigger.
I don't know what movie that is. I think
it was Benchwarmers.
Oh, Benchwarmers.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah.
And he was like,
I am 12.
With his picture.
It's his picture.
Yeah.
Looks like he's 12 to me.
Yeah. And it's got a $20 bill in the birth certificate. But it's so funny because, our team is not bad for our age collectively, but we really only have 1.5 pitchers. We can really only play one game where a pitcher is able to hang. But it's because we're so much younger than everybody else. But it's going to be fun to watch this group because everybody's planning on coming back. It's going to be fun to watch this group as they continue to grow and mature, how we look at this time next year.
Yeah.
And, they're getting stronger. You can even see it because, they work fielding, batting, pitching, and then they finish off with this little game. And, at the start of the season, probably only 2 of them could get it from the mound accurately into the pitching thing that we have. But now you probably have, of the 10 of them, 8 of them can get it in there consistently. Now, it's not strong. It's not got any movement on it or, they can't change the pitch, but they can just throw it straight down the pipe for a strike. And there's probably 6 to 8 of them that can do that now. So,
well, in the fall, I might be joining you with the youth basketball.
Oh.
So my middle son, who's 10 days older than his youngest brother, he's the middle son technically. He loves to play basketball. So our neighbors next door have a basketball hoop in the driveway. So we were over there sitting Friday night, hanging out with them, and he was shooting. And my neighbor there, he's coached some kid basketball before.
Right.
And he gave him a couple pointers, and he immediately, after a few shots, had picked it up and was sinking baskets. And so he's like, "This kid needs to play basketball." So I turn around, and I'm like, "Okay." So we might be going. He's
okay.
He'll be going into 2nd grade. So whatever U that is, I don't know.
He's
probably 8
U. Yeah.
So
and he's a little bit taller too. So
no, he's a short one.
He's a short one.
Yeah.
And he fast?
Oh, he's super fast.
Okay, yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be
super
fine.
Fast.
He'll be fine.
But
where do we want to go from here? Oh, I do want to talk about the Brits.
Yeah. So I just heard on our local sports radio, just in one of their, they didn't, of course, reference any articles or news stories. They just said they had heard that the Brits are saying, because we don't have a tube, because we don't have a subway in Dallas, they were going to walk from the airport to the stadium, which, if you're not from Dallas, that's quite a ways.
It's a long walk. It would take you 15 hours, by the way. I looked it up.
You did? Oh, yeah. 15 hours. That's not close.
No, it's not.
And it's not safe either.
No.
Now, let me just tell you, if you're not from the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, when you come here, you will need to Uber. We don't have great public transportation, which is fine. I wish we did. We tend to like to go to cities with good public transportation.
Yeah. Oklahoma City had great public transport.
But of course, New York subways, but D.C. has a great subway system. You can get anywhere you want to go in D.C. Chicago is Chicago. We try to stay off of that. But this is just a little story about our local news station. This is posted a month ago about our plans. Because what we're talking about, sorry, we buried the lead a little bit. It's on the screen. But some of the World Cup matches are being played here in a few weeks?
It's the 2nd week of June. Yeah. Around the 15th
about
or so.
3 weeks, yeah.
With 69 days to go, North Texas officials say they are prepared to help move 1 million more people around our region over the course of the 9 FIFA World Cup matches. Today, leaders outlined their plans to get people from across North Texas to Arlington. Fox 4's Lori Brown is live to explain. Hey, Lori.
Hi, Clarice, from the International Broadcast Center to Fan Fest at Fair Park and 9 matches in Arlington. North Texas's public transportation center is about to be put to the test. Leaders say that they have a plan, but it involves trains, buses, and some walking.
So we're welcoming the world for the equivalent of 9 Super Bowls. In 69 days, North Texas will...
Holy cow.
No, it's not.
I mean, is it the size of that? The amount of people? That's what they're expecting?
I mean, I get they'll pack the stadium.
So then, yeah. mean, because you got to think about media. You got to think about the delegations that are going to be here.
The reason I paused it, like what put me aside when I was thinking about that is I was like, there's not an entire like week of media and appearances before every single match. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but there's going to be a ton of people here.
I wonder how much it'll be like crowds transitioning in and out. Like people got tickets to one match. So they watched like the third match, but like then they're done. Then are they just hanging out and they got more people coming in to watch his matches 4 or 5? And like, it seems like it almost seems like there'd be more than 1 million people coming in if that were the case. You have 9 different matches and you have a vastly different crowd for each match.
Man, you know, I don't know. I've never experienced this before, so it's kind of hard to judge.
It was here in 94.
Yeah, I was in the 4th grade.
I was going into 6th grade.
Be on a global stage, and the last thing anyone wants is gridlock.
As you can imagine, our international visitors are probably more
This guy, by the way, does not spark confidence.
familiar with transit systems in their home countries, which is why you see the magnitude of the transit investment that we have in our particular plan.
Michael Morris, Director of Transportation for the North Central Texas Council of Governments, says a key component to the region's transportation plan is adding capacity to TRE, the regional commuter train that connects downtown Dallas to downtown Fort Worth. Right now, TRE operates 6 trains with 3 cars each. During the World Cup, capacity will double by adding 4 trains with 4 cars each.
We recommend boarding at the Victory Station in downtown Dallas and the Fort Worth Central Station in Fort Worth.
Match ticket holders will get off at Centerport Station, which is still 12 miles to AT&T Stadium. From there, they will board charter buses. Those buses will then take people to a bus hub where they will need to make a 10-minute, half-mile walk to the stadium.
No.
When asked why the buses don't drop people off in front, Morris explained it this way.
People start screaming at their Uber driver that they can walk faster than the Uber driver can go the last half a mile because of the magnitude of traffic around the venue. You do not want to do that with a charter bus.
North Texas residents
he's got a
have
valid
different
point.
instructions.
Locals are encouraged to drive to the matches. We have over 16,000 spaces that will be allocated for general spectator parking. This is just to ensure
16,000 places for a stadium that holds 90. Whew. Okay.
that our international visitors who may be more comfortable using a transit system have plenty of space and capacity.
Another tool, the managed toll lanes on I-30 that now change directions during rush hour, will change directions based on FIFA match times. Morris says the stadium opens 3 hours before the matches.
When we have a 6 o'clock match, you're at -3, -2, so you're before the peak period, and we're often moving in the...
No, sir. The roads are clogged at 3 p.m.
Man.
People heading home from work.
This is
Trust me,
a disaster,
I've been
man.
on these roads. Here's the thing. If you work anywhere in like Dallas, Mid-Cities, or Fort Worth, you just got to work from home if you can that week. You're not going to want to drive into work.
No way. No way.
Anyway, that's basically the gist of it.
Here, can you leave that map up there? So like for people who are just listening.
Sorry, it's going to have to.
For people who are just listening, they show a map. It's good. I can see it on this side, so I can just describe it. They show a map, and there's 2 basic lanes. One coming from the airport, and it goes both directions to Fort Worth and to Dallas. Mm-hmm. And then the one that's kind of shows like the distance. It's in red going from the airport to the stadium. Because it's not going to be called AT&T Stadium. It's going to be called Dallas Stadium.
Right.
And you can't, like, they better hope that the weather's halfway decent. Because can you imagine if that game starts if they're saying they're going to start letting people in at 3, it's going to be 112 degrees. Mm-hmm. And you're going to ask these people to walk a half a mile on that concrete? Mm-hmm. It's going to be so hot.
I mean, I get what he's saying, but I also get like, all right, there's all of these avenues all around the stadium. Been there. There's all these roads. Like it's a big wheel with a spoke. Close one of those down just for charter buses.
Yeah.
Just let those pull into that one spot and let people off and pull out, and then you don't have any other traffic. We're not set up for this.
No, we're not.
I love where we live, but we're not set up for this.
Well,
would
it have been better if they had had it at the Cotton Bowl?
No. That thing doesn't hold anybody.
I'm just talking about just traffic wise.
No, because that thing
Fair Park,
that's in literal downtown Dallas.
Yeah, then you got the dart station.
That's
and not enough parking for sure.
You do have a dart station. That's one thing you do have. So you could park way out of the Metroplex, and you do have a Fair Park stop.
Yeah.
Which if they had that, like, you know,
I can't believe they don't have that.
When they showed the map, that green line running up top is the TRE, the Trinity Railroad Express, that connects Dallas and Fort Worth. It connects the Dallas DART system just to Fort Worth. Fort Worth doesn't have trains like Dallas. Dallas has above ground trains. And if they would have had the foresight to run, I know it takes a lot to run a train rail. I'm like, that's eminent domain, that's land, I get it. But if they would have had the foresight to run one from the airport down, because that whole, like, it's not just the stadium there in Arlington.
It has a whole entertainment district.
Yeah, you've got Lowe's, you got Texas Live, you got where the Rangers play, you've got Six Flags, Wet and Wild. Like, it's a lot of stuff. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have a train running from the airport to the stadium, and that would bring more of these types of events, I think.
This is gonna be a disaster.
Yeah,
I'm not going anywhere near Dallas during this.
No. I mean, there's people in our neighborhood that are Airbnb-ing their houses.
Really?
So
I know we talked about that a couple months ago.
People are staying this far out.
And they're going to drive. Oh, and then our traffic is going to be horrible.
Yeah.
And they just shut down a main vein into our
And for reference, you start, from Arlington. I mean, it's an hour and 15 drive with really not much traffic. I don't know how many miles it is. I know it's like 75 miles to Fort Worth. It's probably 55 miles to Arlington. So that's how, for perspective, that's how far out we live from the stadium.
Well, and they were also talking about the same things happening in New Jersey. And the same thing is happening. I mean, LA might be okay.
Yeah, but like New Jersey has trains.
Yeah, and we're going to continue talking about the World Cup here in just a minute. But like I saw also Mexico City is talking about closing down all the public education systems. Just closing them down starting June 1st, just to prepare so that way they can make sure the roads are clear. I mean, around here, we're getting out of school this week. Most schools are out, before, Memorial Day. So it's, golly, I did not realize I didn't know that there wasn't a DART station right there. I wonder why they didn't think that through.
No, that Center Point line, that line runs pretty far north. It runs along 183.
Gotcha.
Under the airport.
Jeez, that's bad planning on their part. Well, speaking of weather, man, we've had a ton of rain.
It's been great.
I know.
I love it. It's been so good for my garden. It's such an old man thing to say, but I love my garden. I got tomatoes are just, I was out there pruning them before you got here. Got to prune your tomatoes. They'll turn into a jungle if you don't.
Yeah.
So I got them pruned up, added a few more stays to keep them going upwards and onwards. And I've never seen my potato plants so big. Obviously they grow underground, but then they have a big bush on top. And like normally you'll get like 2 feet, maybe 30 inches if you're good. These things are like 4 feet tall.
Wow.
So I hope that means there's a lot of potato growth underneath.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like potatoes. You don't know until it's time to dig them up. My onions are growing good. I do what I call a salsa garden.
Oh,
I grow
onions,
peppers, tomatoes, and then also grow potatoes, which potatoes and onions you put in early. Like those guys are getting ready in a few weeks to get pulled. Right. And then I'll replace that with squash because you can grow squash when it's hot.
Yeah.
Squash and zucchini. So I'll just replace that whole bed where my potatoes and onions were with squash and zucchini. And then that's pretty much the garden. This rain's been great, man. It's like there.
Yeah. I can grow flowers and I can like flowers or like just greenery.
Yeah.
But anytime I start messing with vegetables or anything like that, I just can't do it. And I just think it's probably because I start too late.
Yeah.
Like last year, my son was like, hey, let's grow this corn because we had like birdseed or something. And I was like, all right. So we grew it. I mean, the stalks were huge. They were probably 5 feet tall. We got like
Didn't
2 of them.
Anything.
They got like this wide, like little miniature corn.
Corn needs nitrogen. And if you plant squash with corn, it feeds it nitrogen.
Oh, okay. See, the more you know.
The more you know. And it provides ground cover.
What is a person who grows? What is a person that like is a plant person? Like a biologist or
botanist? That's flowers. Botanist is flowers, right?
Yeah, I think so. What's a person that does vegetables? I don't know.
Old man.
Twitch says, Clint, accountant by day, botanist by night. Get even a shirt that says that.
I need it.
But speaking of things that irk us or irk me is a couple of weeks ago. This is again, it's been a couple of weeks, but a Texas representative is going after the NEA and the AFT, which are teacher unions, And I couldn't, once I started digging into this, I could never really find like which representative it was. But again, as we've said multiple times on the pod, teachers cannot be a part of a union
in Texas.
Okay, because we're a right to work state. You cannot participate in union activities. I know I was going to put thousands of teachers, but I know at very minimum hundreds of teachers. Sure. And not one of them is a part of that, is a part of an ATF union or is a part of the NEA union. I've never in my 15 years in education seen an ATF flyer at our school or at any school that I've been to, or even the NEA. I've never seen one before.
Are you distinguishing between the legal associations?
Yes. So like when I'm saying a union, I'm meaning like an actual
union.
Teaching union.
But they have these like legal associations.
TCTA, and
you can join.
You can
if
join.
You get sued, they'll come in
and they're just an association. There's no like they can't collectively bargain for you or anything like that.
Basically, what it seems like to me is they're there in case you get sued.
Yeah, that's essentially, and they offer any type of legal advice.
Right.
It's not just educational legal advice, but it's like $50 a year or whatever.
Right,
so
right.
it's just and if you never have to use it, great. But when you have to use it, it's very useful. But this leads us into our maybe friend of the show, maybe not friend of the show.
Maybe.
Tallarico. He's leading the polls.
Yeah. And so I found this graphic and it matched what I was finding on some reputable polls. Like you can find Republican-driven polls that show like Paxton leading by 11 points. That exists out there. You can find Democrat-leading polls that show, Tallarico was 60%. I really don't think this means much. So the graphic on the screen, if you're just listening, shows that Tallarico is currently leading Cornyn. And this is several polls mixed in together and averaged, weighted average. So it's not just one. And it was run April 20th to 27th. So pretty recent, a few weeks ago. It shows Tallarico with 44, Cornyn with 41. So he still doesn't have 50%. And then shows Paxton with only 41, with Tallarico with 46. So it shows Tallarico leading Cornyn by 3, leading Paxton by 5. I don't think it means a lot because we don't have a Republican nominee yet. Early voting starts tomorrow. And then the actual the election day is on May 26th. So the day after Memorial Day. And I think once you have that, the party will solidify. Like, I think a lot of this is someone calls and says, hey, are you voting for Tallarico, Cornyn, or Paxton? And there's people probably either, I don't know. It is interesting that Cornyn and Paxton both have 41% of the vote in these polls average.
Yeah.
But Tallarico leads Paxton a little more. And that makes sense because Tallarico is going to get some established Texan Republican type votes. People who would normally vote in Texas that are more like have voted Republican most all the time. Yeah. Tallarico is going to get some of those votes. He's straight up silver tongued devil, so he's probably not going to come on the pod because we call him a silver tongued devil. This is Clint speaking, by the way. And like he's persuasive. He's lying, but he's persuasive.
Yes.
So I don't know.
The Twitch says they did see a car with a Wesley Hunt bumper sticker on it next to a Tallarico bumper sticker.
Yeah.
That's weird. That is definitely, that's an odd choice.
That's somebody who's like, when you get to the polling place on election day, are you really going to vote for Tallarico because Wesley Hunt's not in it? And
we've had that conversation. We did have that conversation.
I don't see how you can be a fan of Wesley Hunt and a fan of James Tallarico.
Okay. That's a valid point.
They're polar opposites.
Yeah, very opposite.
Now, unless you just hate John Cornyn and Ken Paxton. Yeah. And like if you don't care anything about issues, you care about people, then maybe. I will be more interested in like, let's get through, honestly, let's have the election. Let's get our nominee. Let's get through June. Let's get through America 250 on July 4th. And then when we get like school starting back, then I'll be interested. And I may not even look at another poll until then.
I don't agree with you. You will definitely look at a poll next week after the election.
I mean, because they'll start running comparables, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I may look at them, but I really don't think I'm going to put a lot of stock in them until school starts back.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Does Obama coming to Austin move the needle for you at all?
I don't think he changes anything because I don't think the people that Tallarico needs to pick up to win are not going to vote for him because Obama showed up to town.
That's a valid point.
Like Tallarico on the Democrat vote by himself loses.
Yeah.
He's got to pick up more conservative Republican votes, people who don't want John Cornyn or don't want Ken Paxton. I do believe, we've talked a lot about this, but I do come down on the side of Ken Paxton is the better quote-unquote Republican, quote-unquote conservative. He has, that over John Cornyn. John Cornyn's too establishment. He's been there too long. But Ken Paxton has some baggage. I do think John Cornyn would beat Tallarico by more than Ken Paxton will beat Tallarico.
Yeah.
There are going to be people, like it or love it, you don't have to like what I'm saying, but it's true. There are going to be people who do not go vote in November, who will not cast a vote for Ken Paxton because of his baggage.
Yeah.
And they just maybe won't vote on that election. I don't know if those people are necessarily going to vote for Tallarico, but there are going to be people that because of Ken Paxton's baggage don't cast their vote, and they'll just, I respect everybody's vote, so I don't want to say this in a negative connotation. I just can't think of a better way to say it. It's a little stick in the mud-ish to do that.
Yeah.
But I respect everybody's vote.
I don't have a hard take one way or the other. I'm just going to wait and see because I think that it just depending on who you're listening to, as a Twitch says, unless you're listening to Tucker and Candace, they want you to vote Democrat.
Yeah.
But I think that it's just going to be an interesting thing to watch because what we need to do is we need to look at our friend of the show, Francis, and see where he was and see where
I thought about that today.
And see where he
and Cruz were.
But
Cruz didn't have a runoff.
That's valid.
So that's what I mean. Like, it's really hard when you don't have your guy. Like, the summertime needs to be some people on the Republican side congealing the vote.
Yeah.
And saying, hey, all right, Cornyn lost, which it looks like I want to see if I can drag this over. Let me see if I can be sleuthy and get it done.
Well, I think a lot of times too, people would have voted for Francis Beto O'Rourke if he had not come out so heavy against the Second Amendment. Like when he talked about like taking away your guns and all that stuff, that's when a lot of the conservative movement kind of jumped.
All right, I want to drag this back because in our studio setup where we are host and producer, we'll show this on this screen that I have here on the
YouTube.
Yes, YouTube. That's what I was trying to say. But Paxton is staying level and Cornyn voters are dropping off.
Yeah.
Paxton has had the lead the entire time. Okay. So I'll show this graphic from Decision Desk HQ, which is, I just think, the absolute best place to go get polling data. They require you to log in, but it's free. You can't just like Google it and get it. You've got to log in. You got to have your email and stuff. But it was close at the beginning, like 41-40. And then, Paxton took off. And it's been, a little back and forth. But every time, there'll be little dips and pickups. And then it got close. What's the date on that? It's closer to you.
April 16th.
Yeah, so a month ago.
It's about the SAVE Act.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they both kind of jump up a little bit, but then add the most recent, what's that date?
Cinco de Mayo, May 5th.
Yeah, and then what's the range on that?
So the numbers are...
Is it 46, 42?
Paxton 46, Cornyn 43.
43, okay. Yeah, so I mean, I think Paxton will get it. It's just there hasn't been any indication from the polls whatsoever that he's not going to.
Yeah.
And like it's polls are polls, whatever. But like all of them aggregated together are showing that Paxton's going to win this. So
I think the polls are probably correct. And hold on. If Cornyn is somehow able to be the front man of getting the SAVE Act passed, that pushes him above
Yeah, it
Paxton.
ain't gonna happen though.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
No, he ain't gonna get it.
But we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I want to know if you got the fever.
Oh gosh,
Do you got the fever?
from more cowbell.
Yeah. I don't have the cowbell fever, but I got the blue dot fever.
Yep.
I'm dead serious. Like when, I was trying to go to the Hardy concert and a couple weeks ago, and I just couldn't pull the trigger. It's not that I didn't have the money. It's just that I couldn't pay $250 a ticket plus all the fees to go on top of that.
Yep.
And so what we're referring to is a couple of weeks ago, there was quite a few. Now it's redirecting me. Post Malone, Meghan Trainor, and several other lower grade artists have either rescheduled or canceled their concerts because of Blue Dot Fever. And if you're not aware of what we're talking about, all the ticketing apps, Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, and those are the two big ones that I go to. Vivid Seats. They all, when you open it on the app, you have these blue dots, and those are all tickets that are available. When Post was in town in Waco, he was supposed to be here, I don't know, like the 18th of April, I think, or at some point in the last, 30 days. There were still a lot of tickets available for that show the day of. And so I've heard a lot of people talking about it. I've heard a lot of people give kind of their 2 cents, and I'm just going to put mine in there. I don't think it has anything to do with the artists. I don't think it has anything to do with the people not wanting to go see Post Malone or not wanting to go see Meghan Trainor.
Right.
I think it's the fact that people don't want to pay $1,000 for 2 people to go see anyone anymore.
Yeah, and you're sitting outwards for that. And I am amazed. Man, I'm just amazed at how expensive concert tickets are. Like everybody, you got to really wait for somebody to fall off,
Yeah,
and start doing, but even,
or catch them on their way up,
or even the ones like up at Choctaw, is a casino up in Oklahoma that's close to us. Like those get expensive too.
Yeah, well, that's where Hardy was.
Yeah.
And there were still several. I mean, my daughter ended up going on the Friday night concert. He played there 2 nights in a row, and she was pretty packed. So they were just giving. I mean, eventually, if you were a casino ticket, have an account or whatever, they give you tickets for free. So, you're getting some of that too. But I don't think it has. I think it's just fatigue of the amount of money that it costs, because it's not just the ticket. It's the parking. It's for us. It's getting a babysitter. It's the cost of getting to the venue as much as it is to go.
And then the actual tickets are outrageous.
Yeah, but like when we took our daughter to see Post Malone, like it was like $800 for 4 tickets.
Yeah,
and then it was $100 to park. It was $100 in food and drinks and all of the things, which is fine. But that was a year ago, and now he comes back to town again, and the cost hasn't gone down any. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's necessarily like, I would love to have gone and seen him again, but not at $1,000.
Honestly, man, I think if you want to sit front row, I think you could justify a $400 or $500 ticket front row.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of these guys are $1,500, $2,000 for that. I think you should be able to get a really good seat for a $100 ticket.
Agreed. And that's fees included.
Yes.
Fees included. Like $70 ticket, and then boom, you're in there. But like if you go to Dos Equis, which is kind of the pavilion concert venue around here, like it's for someone that's decent, not some off the wall person.
Yeah.
Like it's $80 to sit in the lawn.
Right.
And just to get into a seat and underneath the pavilion, it's $150.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, you used to be able to buy and they may still do this. It was like either 6 or 8 concerts for $25 each.
Okay.
So you'd spend $200 and you get 8 concerts, and you're on the lawn. Okay, which is general admission, first come first serve. You can get there early and get close if you want, or if you just want to sit out on a blanket with some snacks and be able to hear the concert, not really see them, but look on the screen. You can get in there and the person's live in front of you, which I think that's a great deal. It's interesting. I don't have a lot of actual like researched knowledge on this. It's just what do you call it? Whenever anecdotal. Okay, I do like some Broadway shows, and if you think about the old Broadway shows, they were massive productions with massive choruses.
Yeah,
you think about like Wicked. You think about
But still in Saigon, had a helicopter that came down from the.
Yeah, I saw that one. Phantom of the Opera, huge production, and now you get these shows that are like smaller groups. Even Hamilton, as popular and as much money as it made, like all of those people have different roles all throughout like in the second act, they're a totally different person.
Right.
Right. And I just wonder if this will change, because I understand if you've got 200 people coming in and setting up a massive set and all this stuff, like that can get real expensive. I don't need that.
No.
The set, when I took my daughter to the Weekend concert, that was a massive set and it looked great. But you know what? I really don't need that to see the Weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for him, it's just him, and it's not a very big band, but he's super popular, so those tickets were pricey. We were 200 level, and I think I paid $350, $360 for them each. And like, of course, I got the deal on Bruno, but that was like a early bird credit card deal. But those are still $250 each.
Yeah.
We were at the 100 level though. That was a good seat. But man, like, I will say this: you can, not the Sphere. You can go to Vegas and get some cheaper tickets. Well, we were supposed to be in Vegas this weekend, but we moved the trip for lots of different reasons. But when we went a couple weeks ago, that trip was actually supposed to be this weekend, and we were going to go see the Goo Goo Dolls and we had good seats at the Venetian for like $200 each.
Okay, that's not terrible.
But the Goo Goo Dolls they're not on their way out, but they've been around a while.
Right.
So I could see that, and we were on the floor.
Okay.
For $200 each.
That's not bad. So the question was asked on the Twitch: should Congress continue to get involved in issues like concert tickets and ticket vendors? I think the market is going to correct itself, so I don't know that Congress necessarily has to get involved. I think this is also an effect of COVID. Like, everyone was not necessarily in Texas, but everyone across the country didn't really want to go anywhere for 2 straight years.
Right.
And so there has to be a course correction, which we're going to talk about the housing market here. That's part of that too. Mm-hmm. And so I just think that you can't continue to gouge the consumer and then get frustrated when people don't show up.
What's crazy? We've started going to hear a lot of cover bands. Mm-hmm. We, a couple months ago, went with some friends to see a Blink-182 cover band.
Really?
Dude, they sounded just like them.
Really?
And we were standing in front of the stage.
Where'd y'all go?
It was at Lava Cantina, which closed.
Okay. It's opening up something else, though, right?
Yeah. So the Country Star, we went to Texas Tech, and then Pat Green, Texan.
Okay.
He has the Rustic on Lemon Avenue. Mm-hmm. And so his people that own the Rustic, well, he owns the Rustic, but his people at the Rustic bought Lava Cantina. And so they're going to keep it a concert venue.
Okay.
And so that's a cool, like, we enjoy that. Like, we'll go to the Rustic, and here it's not a famous band you've heard of, but it's good music.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons we like going to Austin. You can walk down 6th Street, up and down the streets here. You were like going to Nashville, walk down Broadway. You're hearing really good music.
Yeah.
And it's not somebody super famous, but if you just want to go out and hear some good live music, you can find that for nothing more than having to walk into a bar and being required to either pay a cover or buy 2 drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we do a lot of that just because dang concert tickets are so expensive.
Yeah. And I told you the first concert I ever went to was Jelly Roll, and that changed my life. Yeah. Like, I was like, man, this is the greatest experience of my life. Next to getting married, meeting my wife, and having my kids.
It's in the top 5.
It's in the top 10. How won't say top 5 because I got 3 kids. Oh yeah. So, but it also plays into what we've been talking about before with the World Cup, right? I just looked. This was in the Dallas, the first and second game that they're hosting. I didn't want to just look because I don't know who these people like. I don't know soccer teams or. Shoot. I don't.
Not pinky.
Yeah, that sucks. I don't know, like, if England and Croatia is going to get more than, say, Japan and Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? And so just to get in the door in Section 400 in AT&T Stadium or level. Dallas Stadium, which is the top level, is $1,000 for one ticket.
Yeah.
That's not including hotels. That's not including anything else. It's just getting in the door is $1,000.
Yeah, and I can't take my 3 kids who play soccer to go see that game.
Yeah, $3,000.
4, because I got to go. You can't send...
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's just ridiculous. And then you're talking about travel and all that stuff just to get to the stadium for that event specifically.
Walk in 112-degree heat.
Yeah, because it's going to be so hot. And if it continues to rain like the El Nino effect that they're talking about, it's going to be so humid too. Mm-hmm. It's going to be hot and humid.
It was muggy today.
Yeah, it was muggy today. But you know who would have a great time
What?
Cash Patel.
So here's my question. And I mean this legitimately, and I'm not trying to cast shade at all. I think there's a chance, like, anywhere on the spectrum this could land, but it's like SNL has done skits about it, which SNL is not, news. My question is, does Cash Patel actually have a drinking problem? Because, it could just be an attack on him, and he doesn't drink any more than anybody else, does or whatever, people who drink socially. Or it could be, he actually does, and there's something here. But so Chris Van Hollen, who we know from going down to El Salvador to visit Kilmar Abrego Garcia fame, was grilling Cash Patel on Capitol Hill. And this is his, it's a very interesting little conversation here.
As I said in my opening remarks, I really don't care about your personal life so long as you are able to perform your public and official responsibilities, which are awesome responsibilities. Multiple reports, including reporting by The Atlantic, have alleged.
The Atlantic is not a trusted news source, by the way. Like, it's The Atlantic, okay? We're not talking about Reuters, AP, Wall Street Journal, like CNN, Time, whatever, even those. Like, you're talking about The Atlantic, okay? It's not your, whatever.
Episodes of excessive drinking, unexplained absences, and behavior that concern current and former FBI and DOJ officials. You have publicly denied those allegations and filed a defamation lawsuit. So today, as you testify before Congress, is it your testimony that those allegations are categorically false?
Unequivocally, categorically false.
So there have been no occasions during your tenure when FBI personnel were unable to promptly reach you?
Absolutely not. You can ask my entire workforce. They hear from me at every single hour of the day, as do these great gentlemen here, as do the men and women of the interagency and state and local law enforcement and the White House.
And so there have been no occasions when your security detail had difficulty waking or locating you, is that right?
Nope, it's a total farce. I don't even know where you get this stuff, but it doesn't make it credible because you say so.
I'm not saying it directly.
By the way, those are great responses.
Yeah.
Like, if you ask somebody that type of question, like, that's the kind of response you want. You don't want, like, well,
100%.
That kind of thing. I might have a drink every once in a while. He's just like, nope, 100%. And I'll let it play a little more.
Dr. Patel, it's been written and documented.
You are literally
written and documented in The Atlantic. Let's clarify.
saying it.
No, I'm saying that these are reports, Director Patel.
No,
and
unlike your baseless reports, the only person that was slinging margaritas in El Salvador on the taxpayer dollar with a convicted gangbanging rapist was you. The only person that ran up a $7,000 bar tab in Washington, D.C. at the lobby bar was you. So the only individual in this room that has been drinking on taxpayer dime during the day is you.
Director.
You ever seen a drunk? Mm-hmm. Doesn't he look like a drunk?
This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
He looks like somebody who knocks him back.
Patel, come on. These are serious allegations that were made against you.
The allegations are false.
Filed.
You drinking margaritas with a gangbanger is true and on
just
video.
goes to show you
running a $7,000 bar tab at the lobby bar has been filed by your own office.
This goes to show
drink during the day. That's you. This is the ultimate example of hypocrisy.
Mr. Chairman,
I will not be tarnished by baseless allegations or fraudulent statements from the media.
The fact that you mentioned that indicates you don't know what you are talking about.
So hold on, I posted on our TikTok. Anyone margaritas?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Stepping away completely. Like, I'm not like genuinely a huge Cash Patel fan. I've heard him a couple times on Rogan. Like, I think he's fine. But I'm not like this, like, go Cash Patel, he's the best. If you just listen to that exchange completely outside the loop and completely objectively, dude, Chris Van Hollen looks like he doesn't know what he's talking about, the senator. Like, it appears to me he's like, I got this one article in The Atlantic, which is a newspaper that goes and finds disgruntled people and gets them to talk and pays them money.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And that's all you got. And so he's setting up his questions. Like, I did debate in high school, and like when I first watched this, I'm like, he's setting up his questions. Like, are you saying that this has never happened? Are you saying that this has never happened? When you ask questions like that, usually what you're supposed to do next is provide the proof.
Right.
Like when you're cross-examining someone, if you're asking leading questions like that, then the next thing you do is you hit them with, well, actually, this member of your detail said this.
And here's the proof.
And here's the proof.
Yeah.
Here's the proof of your security detail who couldn't wake you or couldn't find you during these hours on this day when this happened. Like, you don't just say, well, the Atlantic said so. Like, that is so weak. But here is Chris Van Hollen slinging margaritas with Kilmar Abreu Garcia, the convicted wife-beating gangbanger down in El Salvador. Now, this is from the Wall Street Journal. This isn't AI. This actual picture is in their article about it. And yes, you'll see lots of pictures if you looked up this meeting, depending on the news article you look up, with just water on the table.
Yeah.
And then you'll see some pictures that have these, which they're saying margarita glasses, which I've never put a cherry on my margarita, but hey, I don't know.
Maybe we should try.
Maybe we should try a cherry with the margarita. But there is salt around the rim, and it is clear. So I'm saying that's not another glass of water.
Yeah.
Because it's got salt around the rim and a cherry on top. That's some kind of alcoholic drink. And Chris Van Hollen said his response, because the Wall Street Journal reached out for comment, and they said, hey, at some point, some staffer put these drinks on our table, but we didn't touch them. Well, Kilmar Abreu Garcia touched his because it's only half full.
Yeah, and
Chris Van
empty.
Hollen's is usually they fill up drinks to the top.
Maybe it's hot outside, Clint.
Yeah.
Maybe it's hot outside and it melted.
Melted,
The ice melted.
Then it would expand.
I know. I'm just playing. I'm just playing the
Physics,
other side.
Kyle.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
But I mean, like, here's a yeah.
Then Patel posted on X.
Oh, he did
the receipts.
Oh yeah, because he also put an expense report for a $7,000 bill at the lobby bar in DC. That's a big bill. Like, you could be buying drinks for everybody else, but it is hypocritical when, and that's not the only time. Like, you have those receipts, and then there's been others that have been posted. Like, this guy's known for going out and getting some drinks.
Yeah.
Like, this senator's known for going back and slinging back some drinks, and he's like, but he's going after Kash Patel because the Atlantic wrote an article that Kash Patel likes to drink. And that's weak sauce, bro.
So we talked a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to lead into the next story that you have posted. So we talked a couple of weeks ago about TMZ going to Washington. Like,
I kind of like it now.
Yeah.
I was a little indifferent before, but now I'm like,
so
all right.
I think I sent you the Maxwell, Senator Maxwell, Representative, whatever, Maxwell, and she's on her walk. And TMZ,
Maxine Waters.
Yeah, Maxine Waters. And she's like on her walk, and she's just struggling to walk, struggling. And the TMZ guys asking questions, just general questions about what's going on, how you doing, and her response was, well, generally when I'm on my walks, I don't answer a whole lot of questions. And I'm like, this is exactly why we need TMZ there.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, pull all of your assets out of Hollywood because I don't care about those people. Bring all of them to DC. This is great.
And this is the direction that these people wanted to go.
Yes.
Like, they want to be celebrities. They want to be the point of the news until a company like TMZ comes along who has obviously, been in Hollywood and knows all about all that and how that perspective works. But like, they're going to find these guys and these ladies outside of the halls of Congress, and they're going to ask them these types of questions. And these types of pictures are going to pop up more and more and more.
And to be fair, I tried to search for Kash Patel drinking at bars pictures. I tried to all different words, all different, phrases to try to get that. And all I could find were the SNL skits.
Well, and he did get probably plastered at the Olympics. I mean,
oh, yeah. I remember that. But he's all for
I kept waiting for him to throw that in there.
Oh,
I kept waiting for that to become part of the problem. But also talking about drinking and alcohol, Rand Paul's son.
Here's my only comment about this. So apparently Rand Paul's son, which is William H. Paul, got drunk and posted some really racist, anti-Semitic things on X. Those have since been deleted. And then he posted an apology, said, last night I had too much to drink and said some things that don't represent who I really am. I'm sorry, and today I'm seeking help for my drinking problem. Listen, I'm never going to knock anybody who says they're seeking help. The only comment I have about this is his X handle is
I saw this.
Tasty Brew 1776. And like, maybe if you're trying to tell everybody you don't have a drinking problem, we don't have an alcoholic handle.
Yeah, that's a bad look right there. That's a bad look, man.
And like, it is, I think it's, I don't like the but statement in this. I really just want to say, I want to apologize. Like, I think you should really just say, I want to apologize for what I said last night. I'm seeking help for my drinking problem, because he's coming in here with kind of the but. These things I said when I was drunk and uninhibited, without my filters on, don't actually represent who I am. Like, dude, nobody's going to believe that.
And then his son.
Nobody believes that drinking makes you tell less truth. Like everybody says that the most truthful people in the world are drunks and toddlers.
Okay, and I thought I had seen somewhere that his son had a DUI. This was in 2015. So April of 2015, he was also cited with a DUI.
So man, just apologize, say you're sorry for what you said,
and then move on.
Go get some help and change your dadgum X handle from Tasty Brew 17. I like the patriotism, but Tasty Brew, maybe that's not the good look.
So we're gonna hop into the economy, but I don't. It's a little bit in smoke sessions that we're going to talk about just now. I want to touch on the two really, really big news stories that are going on. First off, the Iranian war. It seems to be at a bit of a stalemate over the last 2 weeks. Trump posted today.
Gerald Ford Carrier Group came home.
That's good.
It was out 300 days, which I think they said was the longest deployment, I think, since Vietnam.
It's been a while.
World War II, yeah.
Hold on just a second.
That's a long time for those guys to be away.
Yeah. And away from their families, because, those guys.
Shout out to the Navy.
When they're on those ships like that, it's hit or miss on communication home.
Shout out to our war fighters. I like Pete Hegseth calls them the war fighters because we have the Department of War now.
Yeah, I like it too. The blockade has stayed. They've incapacitated a couple of ships over the last couple of weeks. But nothing crazy has happened. Price of gas hopefully will come down once this is all these shenanigans are over with. And then Trump went to China. We have a couple of other things to say about that just a little bit later, but I want to hop into the economy before we do anything like that. One of the things that I found interesting, and I shared this with Clint, was the home values of the largest growth county in the state of Texas, Collin County. They dropped by 6%. Over the last couple of weeks or last couple of months. And I said at the beginning of the show, like, we're in the process of purchasing a home. And part of the reason we are able to purchase it is the deal that we are getting from the builder.
Yeah.
Like, it's an amazing deal. The value of what we're buying is way less than what it's being posted at. So I think that's part of it. I can't remember what I put on that. What is that one? That slide.
11? Is a consumer
consumer index. Yeah. But like one of the things that I found interesting is I also have several friends that have started to get their tax bill back.
Yeah.
And the home values have dropped.
Yeah, mine's down too.
I think the two of the people that I talked to, one was down 8%, and the other one was down 15%.
Yeah, mine's not down that much, but it's down.
But here's my worry about this as an educator, and this is something we talked about with Representative Money, is as the home values drop, and if there is changes coming in the Texas legislative session in 2027, is this going to cause problems for the educational world? Because if you take away the funding from the state of the property value tax assessment, I don't know exactly the tax jargon. I'm probably saying
mine's down 4.7%.
Okay,
this year.
So for the consumer, that is very good. I think that's going to end up, and it's a market correction, just like what we talked about from COVID.
Yes,
it probably needs to go down a little bit more. Maybe closer to 10 to 12 to 15%. Obviously, if you're trying to sell your home, that's not very good. But one of the things that I saw was the consumer index is the worst since, I can't remember, I didn't type all of it out, it's on that slide, is the worst that it's been in quite some time.
Yeah.
And what is on the screen is like April, March, and then April, March from year to year. So the consumer index, I'm going to have to get closer. The sentiment is right now in 2026 is 49.8%. It was in 2025, it was 52. That's a negative 4.6 change year over year.
But just from last month,
but yeah,
it was 53.
Yeah, so it's a 6% change, 6.6%
from March to April.
Change. The current economic conditions, April to April. So from April of 2026 to April of 2025, it's 52 down from 59. That's a 12% change.
So what these three mean, the index, the top one, the index of consumer sentiment is how people feel about their own finances. The current economic conditions are how they feel about the economy in general, which both of those are way down significantly. And like Kyle's saying, the largest drop, did you say ever?
Yeah, since the Depression.
Since the Depression. So of people, how they feel about their own finances versus how they and how they feel about the economy in general are down the most since the Depression. Interesting though, the index of consumer expectations went up a little bit. So how they feel about the future outlook of the economy is getting better
year over year,
except their current outlook is getting much worse.
Yeah.
So like it's bad now, but in the future, down the road, we expect it to get better. That's what that's saying.
Well, and I just think that it's going to be interesting I think what's playing this right now. So if you go from March to April, gas prices have gone up significantly.
Right.
It's not the highest it's ever been, but it's dang close.
And that's a good to talk about on this chart, because I do think that a lot of people are like, man, this sucks right now with $4 gas, but I don't think it's going to be $4 forever.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the chart's saying.
Well, and I remember thinking this, and we were not talking on the podcast at this time, but you and I have had multiple conversations over the last 10 or 15 years about politics and things like that. I remember thinking when we were driving to Florida and we had budgeted this trip and the price of gas had just skyrocketed. Mm-hmm. I remember thinking we may never see under $4 a gallon again.
Yeah.
We may never see it again. And I don't believe that at this moment.
Right.
Like at this moment, I'm kind of in that 1.6% of like, okay, it's going to be okay in the long run. But right now, man, it sucks.
It does. My truck is in the body shop right now. I don't know if I mentioned this on the pod, but I found out I think I might have said I found out the concrete's harder than my truck in a parking garage. And so I waited forever. I waited like 2 months before I did the insurance claim and all this kind of stuff. I just busy, kids sports and everything else. And so dumb me, I went and made the appointment, did the insurance thing. I'm ready to drop it off at the body shop the day the huge hailstorm came through. That has delayed things a bit. They actually shipped my truck to out of the area because this body shops in this area are only doing hail damage right now. So I bring that up in this conversation to talk about I'm driving a rental. So I'm driving a car right now, a little sedan.
I saw it.
I've driven that thing a week and a half and haven't put gas in it yet.
Oh, man. Good timing for
I
you.
know. I'm like, and when I do put gas in it, it's probably like a 12-gallon tank versus the 25-gallon tank in my truck. So it is a bad time. Like things are more expensive. Inflation is leveled off, but it went up so much.
Yeah.
Across everything, not just groceries, but somebody was talking to me the other day. They're looking at trucks and they were looking at a new 3/4 ton Chevy diesel, right?
Oh, man.
That's basic. Like it doesn't have any bells and whistles. We're talking about cloth seats, but it is a 3/4 ton.
Hold on, let me guess. What Ford, Chevy?
Chevy, 4-door Duramax diesel.
83.
99.
Jesus Christ.
99, like 99, like $1 or $2 under $100,000. And I'm thinking about that. And I'm like, I paid $155,000 for my first house. And it was a brand new house. It was a good, nice house.
Yeah.
Fit our family at one time.
Yeah.
It does not fit our family anymore. But
I don't know when it's going to change. So my daughter came in the other day and she's driving, she's paying for her own gas. She was like, Dad, how much longer is gas going to be for? I was like,
yeah,
man, I don't know.
That's a great conversation to have with your kids though.
Because it's like, she's like, wow, it's just so expensive right now. I'm like, yeah, it is.
Parents can provide insight. Like we've been through this before.
Yeah. And hopefully it'll change, but until it does.
What was gas when you started driving?
Oh gosh, I could fill my Dodge. I had a Dodge Dakota. I could fill it up for like $10. So
it was 99 cents.
I would guess it was around $1.10, somewhere around there.
My first truck was a diesel and it was 99 cents a gallon.
No, but I could fill my truck up and have money for the weekend on $40.
Yeah, I mean you could have a $20 date night.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, that leads into. Did I delete that off of here?
No, it's on there. I saw it. But I think it's down to smoke sessions.
Smoke sessions.
Okay.
Well, we'll go ahead and talk about it. But the average cost of the first date is $252.
That's a nice date.
That's a nice date. And so I was thinking about it though, because it was on like one of those like Yahoo finance thing, and it was polling all these people who had like been on the dating apps or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I just got to thinking like, what are you doing on a first date that it's costed $252? But then I was thinking like, if you went to dinner. And then if you go eat sushi, it's $100.
Yeah.
And then if you go to bowl or you go to do something on like a movie or whatever, it's
movie's
$50.
Another $50.
So like you're easy at $150. That's if you don't drink any alcohol.
Yeah.
So you add in alcohol to that, it's an easy $200.
The first day with my wife, I went to a Tex-Mex restaurant, and this is the Tex-Mex restaurant that has like $6.99 and enchilada Tuesdays. So it wasn't your $5 first date you and your
$5.16. Get it right.
You and your wife had, but it was pretty dang cheap. But I will say, And then we went and saw a movie. And then like I think our third date, like our real date, we went, and like I say, we like Broadway, and so we went and saw Guys and Dolls, and I probably spent $250 on that one, you know, after Broadway tickets and dinner and stuff, whatever. I remember one time, this is a funny story. Thankfully, thank Jesus, I was 18, and actually not thank Jesus for this, but maybe, I don't know. You people feel differently. Dave Ramsey will come down out of the sky and hit me over the head right now. I was 18, but I'd already gotten my first credit card.
Okay.
And it was like a little credit card, had $1,000 limit on it. I hadn't put a single thing on it. Okay.
Okay.
I took my girlfriend. I had no idea, man. This is not necessarily pre-Google days, but pre-Google days.
Okay.
Where I'm just like, okay, this is a nice restaurant I've heard about. And it was the type of restaurant where they bring out the whole lobster.
Oh,
it's not a lobster tail. It is the whole lobster, claws, head, and everything. Nice place. And it's the kind where they're waiting on you every 5 seconds. They come with a little thing and they're sweeping the breadcrumbs off the table. And just like every time you take a sip of water, they fill it back up, you know, white tablecloth. And I'm like, whew. We get in and I'm like, dude, that meal was over $400. I just graduated high school. And I was like, I am so glad I have this credit card in my pocket, because otherwise there ain't no $400 in my wallet right now.
That's hilarious.
And like, so I was at the point of when we saw and then of course it's market price, so I don't even know what it's going to be until I get the bill. Like that was a learning experience for that.
Well, now you can't. I mean, that's just ignorance if you don't know about how much it's going to cost when you get there.
Yeah, but you know, my daughter for her Sweet 16, if you know the Dallas skyline, we have Reunion Tower.
Yeah.
And it's a nice restaurant up there, and she wanted to take her and 3 friends, so 4 people for her Sweet 16. We pitched in, got our limo and everything, but I called the restaurant, and I'm like, hey, I want to make sure you're okay with this. We're going to be in town. We're going to follow the limo. We'll be in downtown Dallas close by, just hanging out. But these are 4 16-year-olds. They're good kids. They're all involved in like activities in school. Yeah. They're going to come up that elevator, like, you know, put them at a table. Just do me one favor and don't let all 4 of them get the tomahawk, you know. I looked at the menu and I talked to my daughter. I'm like, you know, you can pretty much order anything you want, but don't all 4 of you get the $250 tomahawk steak.
Right.
And you will be okay. Like, get yourself an appetizer for this. Is how the nice restaurants work. It's an appetizer for the table. Like the sides are for the table. It's usually like that kind of thing. And she did great. She's great, you know, and all that. But I was like, I had to give her a talk like, hey, I know you really don't understand how expensive things is when you see a price on a menu. Because every time you've gone to a restaurant, you pick what you want off the menu, and the bill comes to dad, and the credit card goes and it gets paid.
Right.
But let me talk to you a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
we start having those conversations early.
Yeah.
Because now we're getting to the age where middle daughter's in middle school and she's going out with her friends or whatever. And I just told her, I'm like, look, you wait and you see what everyone else orders.
Yeah.
And then you order something very similar.
Right.
Because obviously they're not going to make you pay most of the time. If they're asking you to go, they're going to pay for you.
That is a social lesson that everyone needs to learn.
And that's so important.
If you're with a group of people and like you're probably not paying, but you don't know them that well or whatever, let them order first. Do not order first.
Yeah. Order second or last. Be like, I'm not sure. Why don't you go first?
Get something reasonable. If somebody's taking you out to dinner, like it's not the time to get the tomahawk steak. Do that on your own dime. I don't know. I think the tomahawk steak is overrated.
Oh man.
It's a good steak, but it's not a $250 steak.
The bone-in ribeye is so good.
Now there's a place there's a couple of them here in Dallas called Knife.
I've never been there.
And that is a nice steakhouse. That's the dry aged, like
yeah.
You can get yourself a good ribeye or strip, their filet, but their tomahawks are
HEBs are good too, man. Don't.
Now I could do an HEB tomahawk.
Don't sweat on those.
I'm just not I'm really not. It's not that, like you say, it's not that you don't have the money. I just don't want to spend the money.
Yeah.
On the place where someone else is going to cook the tomahawk for me.
I am definitely to the point of I would rather just go buy decent food and then just come home and cook it.
Yeah.
The only thing we haven't really perfected, and I say we like I cook, I'm just the sous chef in this household, but like the only thing we haven't really perfected is sushi. And it's because we can't get the fish fresh enough.
Oh, yeah.
And that's very, very difficult to do. But like steaks, I'd rather go spend $80 on decent steaks at HEB or Tom Thumb or where your local butcher.
Yeah.
And then just come home and cook it.
Now, a friend of the show, Lee Wells, will disagree with me on this, but I do like a rare steak.
Oh, me too.
I want to sear it. And so my sister-in-law, I'm not at liberty to say what we're celebrating, but we went out. She wanted a steak, so we went out to celebrate just yesterday. And we went to just Roadhouse, okay? Mm-hmm. Which there's more, tons of Texas Roadhouses all over the U.S. And I told them, I said, all right, I'm getting the ribeye. I got their Fort Worth 12-ounce ribeye.
Yep.
Okay.
Good steak.
And I said, listen. She's like, well, how do you want that cooked? I know the question's coming. I say, I want it rare. And I say, I actually want it rare. Because most of those, Texas Roadhouse, I feel like is probably the best chain steak restaurant. I think it's nowhere near Saltgrass. I think Saltgrass is down at the bottom for me, just from the service and the steaks that I've gotten there. And Saltgrass is starting to do these thin steaks. I don't want to, I'm bashing on Saltgrass, but it's not. Texas Roadhouse has a good thick steak. But most of the time of these chain Logan's, Roadhouse, Saltgrass, you ask for a rare steak, they're not going to give you a rare steak.
Yeah,
it'll be medium rare. It might even be medium.
Yeah.
And I don't want to send it back. Not because I just don't want to now everybody else is eating. I'm waiting on my steak and then everybody's going to be done. I'm going to be eating my steak. So I just tell them, I'm listen, I actually want it rare. And then it came out. So shout out Texas Roadhouse. It came out, cut that sucker open. It was excellent. Had the leftovers with some scrambled eggs this morning. Steak and eggs ain't a bad deal at all.
No. And that's why I like to cook at the house too. Mm-hmm. Because then I know for 100% that I'm going to have leftovers.
Yeah.
Well, H-E-B will run, especially when it's a new store like what we have here locally, they'll run specials on leftover stuff. And then you can, the other, we had I think it's the Wagyu steak. Mm. And there were four steaks. It was $80 for all four. Well, I mean, these were thick cut steaks. And
that's probably not more than about $20 a pound. That's
no,
good
it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was for my birthday. And I was like, this is what I want. She was like, okay. So we get home and she cooks it. And then there's a ton left over because there's so little fat on those steaks. And I was just like, man, this is so good. I couldn't have eaten this anywhere else for that amount of money. You're looking at that $252 bill.
Yeah, that's what it would be, Wagyu steak.
But the job market is something that I found interesting too. And I think this all wraps up with the blue dot fever, the home values pricing and all the stuff and then all the talk with AI. We're gonna play the commencement speech that the UCF lady did a atrocious job doing. But one of the things that I found interesting on this is the jobs that are being likely to be replaced by AI.
Yep.
And the top 2 or 3 are all high academia jobs.
Yeah.
Which I find very interesting.
I have opinions about that when you get to it.
So the number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 1 is a translator.
Well, but that's Google Translate. You 100%. Can have a whole conversation with somebody using Google Translate. I get that.
100%. A historian.
See, that's
number 2.
Yeah.
And I understand where that. So I consider myself to be somewhat of a historian. A lot of research you can do very, very quickly through AI. Mm-hmm. That's what a lot of that stuff is going to be.
I feel like it doesn't replace the historian; it replaces the historian's research assistant.
There you go. But then that replaces the historian
eventually. Yeah.
Writers and authors. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. AI is not there yet. It's very, very easy to discern when AI is writing something that's longer than 2 or 3 sentences. It can edit your stuff and make it sound more professional or more polished. That's the one I choose all the time where I type it out and then it says make more polished and I click yes. Yep. So then at least it makes it usually.
And then you make 2 or 3 more edits to put it in your voice and you're good.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that, again, I agree with that. And then the last one is sales representatives and service, or that's number 4. I just think that this has been on its way out for quite some time. Mm-hmm. This doesn't, these 4 specifically don't really have a whole lot to do with AI. It's just more the advent of higher quality of technology.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the sales department of a car dealership anymore and sit there. Now you can, and you can go haggle with them and all that stuff, which is the worst experience on the planet. We've discussed that many times. But I just think that you're starting to see where technology is being more, and this also has to do with COVID.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to go and sit for a long period of time in a place that they don't have to be.
Yeah.
And so
I bought a car one time on my couch.
Yeah.
On my phone.
Yeah. I did find number 9 kind of interesting. It says political strategist or political scholar. I can't read exactly what it says there, but this is kind of the overall change. And this was done by one of those job market websites that I just kind of found fascinating because it's just AI is consuming everything that we have at the moment. And I just wonder what it looks like. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I get it up there at the top. CNC tool programmers, I have a little CNC machine, and that's great. You can say, I want to draw this design. And that's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody, if you have a CNC machine, it's like a 3D printer, but it doesn't create stuff. It takes material away.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's out there plotting points on CNC machines anymore. You're like, no, this is my design in like Fusion 360 or whatever you're using to draw with, and it's giving the points and everything. Broadcast announcers and radio DJs.
I don't see that happening.
I had this conversation with my middle daughter. We were driving, and she was like, are the radios always on? And I was like, well, a lot of stations, most of them, yeah. But at nighttime, they're just going to play music or reruns of their content. And there might be somebody at the station making sure like the trains are running on time, but you don't have an actual person on the radio a lot of times in the deep nights.
Yeah.
They're just playing recorded stuff and then running commercials. So maybe AI's got a piece in that. Telemarketers, I just hate it. Like, it's one thing to have a person call you, but now we have 8 robots calling us. Yeah, I don't know.
The very last one was a mathematician. I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't even know that job existed anymore.
AI does math really fast. Like, here's the thing. I don't, like, for my older kids, if they have math issues, because I haven't done math in a long time. You say I'm a CPA. So don't never trust a CPA's math. That's the rule. We're not good at math so much. You think we might be. We're good at Excel. You can take a picture of the problem and it'll tell you how to solve it. Like, I'm not giving that to my kid, but I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I kind of remember this now, and you can help them through it. Like, yeah, 100%.
So it's just kind of interesting as we'll talk a little bit more about this in smoke sessions, but like I found that graphic very interesting because it wasn't the jobs that I would expect, but it also makes me wonder, like, some of these jobs are already on their way out.
Yeah,
as it is. So
a lot of them. Because I listen to a couple of fitness podcasts, and there's a lot of talk right now about it's replacing the personal trainer.
Yeah.
People go into AI, and they're like, hey, this is what I want to work on. This is who I am. And it kind of learns you after a while.
Yeah.
And it'll give you workouts. And so.
Well, I think it's like what's it called? The multi-tier level people. What are those called?
Multi-level marketing.
Yeah. I think it's going to take those. Like the workout guru or whatever is not going to be like, the AI can tell you what to do, right? It can tell you the workouts and stuff like that. But the actual person in a gym is always going to be there. Like, that job doesn't go away. You still, unless you want to be like,
I think there are going to be fewer people that use that though, because they are expensive. Personal trainers are not cheap,
but they also have the technique and the knowledge and all that stuff.
They can watch you.
Yeah, and I think that is going to be more of what the future has. Like, your trainer probably uses AI anyways,
right?
Or of some sort of software.
I think it goes more along with, if you have someone who's really serious about it, they have a personal trainer.
Yeah.
But you have someone who's kind of serious about it, that if AI didn't exist, might splurge to spend the money for a trainer.
Yeah.
Will not.
Yeah.
Because they have AI.
That's fair.
That's my thoughts.
But you know who doesn't worry about AI and any negotiations in the economy is President Trump. He does not think about the Americans and gas prices when negotiating with Iran. So when I originally heard this, I was like, man,
seems out of touch.
That seems a little harsh. Then I heard him not really retract his statement, but I then, as I thought more about, like, with China and what's happening there and the CEOs that went with him there, in negotiating with Iran, I don't think I really want him to think about that.
Right. My reaction to this was like, ooh, that stings. And then my initial second thought was, that's what I want to hear from the president.
100%.
I don't want the president going into negotiations being like, oh man, these gas prices. I'm like, it's going to be on his mind because he needs to care about the American people. But I don't want that a part of the negotiations, because if they know where you're hurting, then they've got something on you. In any negotiation whatsoever.
I don't really understand why the gas prices are so high. Hold on, pause. I understand why they're high because I understand how oil futures work. However, we don't get any oil from them.
Yeah.
Or very little.
Yeah, it is crazy how the global market affects it.
So
it affects our oil prices we're paying here.
And when I'm kind of like you, I was like, oh man, I don't think you should have said that as you're getting on Air Force One and spending lots of money to go to China.
Yeah.
But upon further reflection, I was like, okay, I can see where he's going because it is the art of the deal, right?
Yep.
You can't be worried about all of these different things. If the goal is to not let Iran have nuclear warheads, then I don't want him thinking about gas prices.
You can't show that weakness.
Yeah. So
did you see they put him in a smaller chair?
I did see that. I
like it's obvious. Like I saw the news story and I was like, no, they didn't. And then I'm like, yeah, it's China. They probably did. And then you look at the picture and you're like, yeah, he is sunk down in this seat, and like President Xi is like up on the top of the cushion, like all sitting all tall. I'm like, come on, man.
And had this been anyone else, I don't think that's intentional.
Yeah.
But since it is China, and everything that China does in Chinese culture is intentional. So you can't be fooled by like a MAGA person can't just be, oh, they didn't do that on purpose. It was no. It was 100% on purpose.
For sure.
Everything about that trip was intentional
Yes.
on both sides.
And I saw some people saying like, oh my gosh, like in Trump's own book, he says you don't go to them, you make them come to you. Art of the deal. And so they're like, oh, he went to China, he's giving in. Like, no, President Xi is coming here in October.
Yeah.
Like it's whatever.
Yeah. And I think it's important. It's an important trip. And I don't know that I would have said this in the beginning of his presidency, but after reflecting on this, on like, why would he do this now? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my thought on that. One, he visited all of the Middle East before he talked about Iran. Like I don't want to say he got their approval, but he at least gave them a heads up on something. I can't say for sure because you don't know, and we will have to wait for the biographies to come out of Mark Rubio and Pete Hegseth and all those guys and JD Vance later on after Trump has passed away.
Those are good reads.
Oh, they're going to be fantastic.
I want Cash Patel's too.
I'll read all of them. I actually told my brother-in-law, I know he was listening, but like I literally told him, I said, I hope when Rubio writes his, Trump will have already passed. Because I want him to be able to tell an unfiltered truth about all of it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think if he's alive and he's still writing it, he won't be able to tell everything that happened.
Yeah.
But I would like to read Trump's too.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll read it. Maybe
in
Trump
voice.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, you need Trump to read Trump voice because of his cadence and how he talks. Like I couldn't imagine anyone else reading that for an audiobook, you know, other than Trump.
I do think though that this trip is important. And I think the fact that Elon...
We're not too far removed from the U.S. presidents not going to China.
100%.
Like it was a huge deal when W. Bush went there for the Beijing Olympics.
Yes.
Like he went there for the Olympics, not for a state visit. And that was a huge deal for an American president to go to China. Like that was just W.
Right.
Not too long ago.
Yeah.
Like it is a huge deal for Trump to do that. And he's gone twice.
And I didn't put a whole lot of... And I know I said a while ago, everything China does is important and is relevant. But I now wonder when Xi comes here, who will meet him at the airport? Because the vice president of China met him and was there at the tarmac. And I saw that, you know, when Obama went, they did not roll out the red carpet. I saw multiple videos and conversations
he just
about
went
that.
down the steps and got in a car.
Yeah, got into a car.
Yeah.
And it was not that way for Trump.
I really have zero fear that Trump will, like, there'll be some power moves.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever Xi comes here.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that Elon and Tim Cook and Larry Fink and David Solomon and you have a whole list
So
of them
everybody
here.
knows who Elon and Tim Cook are. Obviously, Apple. Larry Fink is the president of BlackRock. David Solomon, Goldman Sachs. Meta. I don't know this Gina Powell McCormick, but she's taking over Meta from Zuckerberg. CEO of Boeing, Kelly Ortberg was there, and 10 other CEOs on Air Force One with him.
Yeah.
You know,
this was a business trip in every aspect of it. I think they came out of the negotiations and they're purchasing at least 20 Boeing 747s. That's huge for the American economy. They also agreed in some form or fashion to buy oil. I didn't ever get a clear read on there was kind of reporting all over the place about Xi's response about Iran. It seems to be that it was just...
Trump said they're in agreement,
yeah.
but I only got Trump's side of it. I don't know.
Yeah, and there was never really a clear statement from the Chinese media, which is okay. I did think that it was kind of hilarious that he took them to the Rose Garden there in China, the Emperor's Garden, and not very many people. And Trump got a big kick out of that. He was like, the last president that was here was Putin, and Trump I don't want to say he smirked, but he definitely was like, okay, well then this is kind of a big deal. Not that Trump doesn't know, but I just think that like overall it was a quick trip. I think that both parties were very intentional about their, at least publicly, they were very intentional about what they were going to say. I also found it very interesting that the American news media and anyone else in the delegation was forced to throw away everything they were given.
Yeah.
And
all the gifts got
the gifts got chunked, and anything that was given to Trump was brought later, or is going to be brought later. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. I guess they'll scan everything just to make sure. Sure it's
taken apart, put back together.
Yeah, and he got some rose seeds. Did you see this? She gave him some rose flower seeds to put in the rose garden.
Don't plant those things.
But didn't he build like a eating area in the rose garden or something? I thought Trump did something with the rose garden.
He tore it out, part of it, and everybody's upset about that. I think to expand or make the colonnade better. I don't remember.
Okay.
They were all upset about it.
Okay. Well, I think overall it's a good trip. I was really, really thankful that nothing major happened, but also it was a very clear power move on both sides.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go into some smoke sessions. We got lots of news to cover this week. I want to start off with, we talked a little about AI. I want to start off with the UCF commencement speaker gets booed off the stage about AI.
Why is it not playing? Oh, man. What did I do?
Did it not play?
Let's try this again.
Reboot it.
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. You'll just have to explain it. I watched it.
So basically what happens is she goes into this speech and gives it, and she mentions about how AI is coming up and how AI is going to be a good thing. And the student body literally starts booing. And she is absolutely beside herself about why they would be booing.
I know, she turned around.
She turns around, looks at her, and like, and a couple of things on this. Typically, Clint
she called AI the next industrial revolution.
Yes.
The Industrial Revolution, who put millions of people into factories with jobs. She's saying that AI is going to take away millions of people's jobs is the next Industrial Revolution.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see how you could get some boos about that. It's a bad take.
These people just paid a lot of money for the for the education they have. And she's essentially saying that it's useless.
Right. Great speech. I hope at least it was short.
It was like 4.5 minutes long, 5 minutes long, not terribly long. But I also think that this is kind of one of those things where the boomer generation is completely removed from what is happening to these young students and people. And she was just blown away by the response.
I know.
And I think that that's kind of also, it shows like the people who are around her are not very aware of what was going on. Because I guarantee she had a speechwriter.
Well, yeah, her speech shows she's out of touch, but then her shock shows she's like, just confirms you are out of touch.
You are very out of touch. So there's that. Also, Senator McConnell gets corrected.
Kentucky, what are you doing? Like, this is the guy who locked up, 2-3 times and like just stared in the camera and didn't say anything, like had to reboot his system or whatever. And like, now, come on, Kentucky, what are you doing?
Okay, here's where we are.
He's a turtle.
The vote is about over. The secretary has to get with the president on the China trip. I'm going to ask Senator Murkowski to wrap up. And thank you all for being here.
Baldwin, Shaheen, and Kennedy. Baldwin, Shaheen, and Kennedy still have questions. Wrap up after.
Hold here. Yeah. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of time for a second round, so we'll get through everybody. And Senator Murkowski, I appreciate your taking over.
Okay, so
thank you, Secretary.
Goes on to ask questions. He goes on to actually get up and leave the hearing, and this is the hearing with Pete Hegseth that happened this week. What he was trying to do, I'm not taking up for him because I got 2 words for you after that statement is term limits. But like what he's trying to do is get Pete Hegseth to the trip with China. Like I get it. However, you got to let them speak. If they knew that he had to get out of there, then they shouldn't have had the hearing. The hearing should have been delayed.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot let this. This goes back to TMZ. Like, right? I'm glad TMZ is going to be in town because guys like him, they gotta stay here.
To go. Kentucky, what are you doing?
And they keep voting him in.
Yes.
And
Just
it's
won
so,
again.
so bad. Okay.
Well, you know, he didn't win. This is not on here. So since we're on senators, did you see Bill Cassidy in Louisiana got primaried and he got third place?
I saw that.
So there's going to a runoff and he's not in there. But that dude voted to convict. He's a senator. Trump over January 6th.
Yeah.
Like, man, like good riddance. Like that happened. He was up for re-election. He did that 5 years ago. Like, no, I fully support that. That's ridiculous.
Hopefully future mayor of LA wins the debates. This happened about 10 days ago. He is single digits behind Mayor Bass.
Yeah, which is huge. Like somebody out single digits behind an incumbent.
And he's running as an independent, by the way.
Yeah, he is. That'd be great. Spencer Pratt.
I think
he's got his quirks, but
there is now a push for all Republicans to just fly to California, go vote in the LA elections.
Yeah, I just don't know what impact that has on us, but
it doesn't. It's nothing different than the Mondami election.
Yeah.
But I think what it does prove is like you can't keep getting away. If he wins, I think he has a shot. He has a legitimate chance.
Yeah.
Will he win? I'm not sure. It's kind of like what's going on in Texas right now, where Tallarico is ahead in all the polls.
Yeah.
You know, and then when it actually comes down to voting, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still got to win the nomination.
Yep.
I mean, but there could theoretically be an independent in the Democratic slot and a Republican in the other slot. So it could be an independent and a Republican running and no Democratic.
And I think he's got a shot, not just political party news, but Karen Bass is just like
she's so bad.
It just looks very incompetent when you see her speak. And then when the wildfires happened, just did not seem to really have a clue of how to govern.
If we didn't learn anything from COVID, we learned how important mayors and governors are.
Yeah, you got a point there.
And apparently the city of LA did not learn. Mm-hmm. So cameras will be allowed in the courtroom for Charlie Kirk's assassination trial, assassin's trial.
I hadn't seen that.
I think that it'll be interesting to see what is allowed. If you listen to the Live Free podcast a couple of weeks ago, they had one of his mentors on. I can't remember his name; it's escaping me.
Frank Turek.
He gave a very descriptive imagery of what was going on in that time period. I can't imagine they're going to let all the videos be played live on TV.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that they'll have some sort of blocked out stuff. So
I will want to see the highlights. And here's what I'm questioning, because his own family turned him in. And they're going to have to testify.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, like, now removed from it, what that looks like.
Yeah, we're not even a year out away from that. I mean, it's still there. So Waymo recalls all their taxis. Okay, due to a computer glitch.
Yeah, drove into a flood. I see these things all over Austin. I don't really see them in Dallas that much. But.
I saw where there was a glitch in the system, and I think it was in San Antonio or Houston, I can't remember. And they were driving into this cul-de-sac, and there were like 50 of them there, and that they were just driving in in the neighborhood, out the neighborhood, back into the cul-de-sac, and there was like 50 of these Waymo taxis.
I believe Waymos are not. I think they're driven by an actual person who's looking at screens.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Waymo is that way. There's one similar, although they look weird. Waymos are like nice cars. They'll be like, they'll be like luxury SUVs. A lot of them are. But there's one in Vegas called Zoox, ZOOX, and it's a weird looking like pod with 4 like external wheels on it. And that it has only certain stops though. You can't just put in any address. It's like these Zooxes run up and down the strip basically and stop at these certain places. And you can put in that stop and say, I want to go there. So it's not like a bus where it stops at every one.
Right.
But if you are wanting to go all the way up to like Fontainebleau, which is way on the north end, and you're at Mandalay Bay, you can hop in a Zoox and it's free.
Oh.
The Zooxes are free.
Okay.
So, but I still have it without a driver. Like I want to be able to open that door and jump out if you're going to drive me into something.
Well, and they also failed some safety protocol things, like they were driving around buses that were stopped with the sign open. Yeah. They were also like had stuff run out in front of them, like it was a designed test for it, and they wouldn't stop, and it just ran over and just kept going. Can't have that. Can't have that. Friend of the show, Buc-ee's is expanding. They're going to up to 8 more states.
Listen, I don't know if this is appropriate for the podcast, It is a pleasure to be able to use the facilities, the closed door facilities at a Buc-ee's. My middle daughter had marching band fundamentals this past week. She's an 8th grader, going to be a freshman, so they bring them in, like teach them some marching band before they go off to the summer and come back for summer band. And there's a Buc-ee's right next to the high school, so like she's there for like 2.5 hours. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna drop you off. I'm gonna watch you a little bit, then I'm probably gonna run over to Buc-ee's and get myself a Texas cheesesteak burrito. It's amazing, and I'm probably gonna, and a couple of times I had to use the facilities. And I got another thing about that too. And I'm just like, you walk in, man, it's roomy. You shut a door behind you, not a little slide thing with a little lock. No, it's a door with a deadbolt. It's roomy. You got a couple hand sanitizers in there with you. There's always toilet paper. It's nice. It is just a pleasure if you're not at home in your normal environment and you have to go number 2.
Yeah.
It is a pleasure to go number 2 at Buc-ee's. I really appreciate that. But also, side note about bathrooms. I was at, my son finished soccer weekend before last, so he's in the tournament, and they were in quarterfinals, and I went to use the bathroom. And so this is a school,
okay,
right? But it's the bathrooms by the stadium.
Okay.
Question. If you walk into a bathroom and all you see down one side are just stalls and sinks on this side, what's your first thought?
It's a women's bathroom.
You're in the women's bathroom.
Yep.
You could, now it's possible to have a men's bathroom that's all stalls, but you probably need to go check the sign on the door and make sure.
I would 100% go check.
Yeah. So I go in the guy's bathroom and I'm standing at the urinal, hear the stall flush beside me, and this woman comes out and starts yelling at me that I'm in the women's restroom. She made the mistake. So let me tell you something. If a guy walks into a restroom and it's nothing but stalls, it's most likely the women's, but it could be the guys. If a woman walks into a restaurant and there's 3 urinals across the wall, you're in the wrong place.
Right.
And she's yelling at me and I'm using the bathroom. Like,
at the urinal?
Yes.
Oh,
I can't
no.
turn around and have a conversation. So I'm having talk over my head. And I'm like, no, this is the men's restroom. No, it's not. What are you doing here? I'm going to go tell somebody. She never came back.
Thank God.
Anybody would have been like, no, see there's the 2 legs. There's not the skirt. That says men's. It's even in Braille.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So, man, she was hysterical. Talking about people at kids' sports, they are hysterical. And she was yelling at me. And I'm really embarrassed. I'm like, don't get your camera out, please. Oh, no. Although if she had and she's screaming, this man is in the women's restroom and I'm standing at a urinal, I think that would have gone negatively for her.
Yeah, you'd have been all right. You'd have been all right.
Thankfully, I wasn't like my 2 younger boys who drops them all the way to the ankles, I don't know about little kids and to do that, man. I don't get it.
I think you just take them into the stall.
Yeah, I got to.
Take them into the stall.
Buc-ee's is great.
It is great. It is so awesome. Are you upset that they're going to other states besides Texas?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I get it. I get having this is a Texas thing, but I really want Buc-ee's is so great. We want the people in Colorado. We want everyone to have the experience of a Buc-ee's.
But then it's just not Texas. It's like Whataburger.
But it's still owned by Bucky, by Alvin.
Okay.
He still owns it. He didn't sell it off to some Chicago firm like Whataburger did.
That's fact. Texas Public School is down 75,000 students.
Yeah.
So on the slide, we have a public Texas school enrollment over time. And it starts 1987, and then it really goes up in the year 2002. And then it kind of has just stayed the same. Obviously, the COVID year dropped a little bit, but it's stayed the same since then. There's a couple of things that are going along with this, and I don't know how I think about this. I wondered, I tried to search where this data came from. Is this just saying overall enrollment is down? Okay, I could see that. We've had a push, especially in South Texas. I could see where if, illegal aliens live down there and they unenroll their kids because public schools have to take them regardless of their status, legal status. I also know the voucher system came along.
Yep.
And that had probably a little blip on the screen, but we also talked about that, how it wasn't a huge drop off from people who had already received or were already enrolled in a charter or private school.
Right.
So I think that this is not necessarily, it's a correction from COVID. Mm-hmm. Okay. Where we saw a lot of drop off and changes in there. But also it is a little bit concerning because it's like, where are the kids going?
I have 2 takes on this. Number 1, people are having fewer kids. That's not all of it. I think that's a part of it.
I agree.
Number 2, with the advent of so many people now being able to work from home and having regular work from home days from their jobs, if not just completely work from home, the barrier to entry for homeschooling has been lowered.
Yeah.
Now to homeschool your kids. Now, I will tell you, as I did, my wife did. I'm not saying I did this. My wife did all the work. Homeschooled 2 of our kids for a few years. Like, especially at the younger ages, that is a full-time job.
Yeah.
You know, you're possibly getting one over on your employer if you're homeschooling elementary age kids and working a full-time job.
Right.
It can be done, but you don't have time for anything else. Now, as the kids get older, and if they're doing the K-12 program in Texas and they're a little more independent work, like your middle school and high schoolers,
right.
I think that someone with a work-from-home job could homeschool their kid, their middle school, high school kid, not easily, but more easily now with the advent of work from home.
Yeah.
Especially if you have maybe both parents are working and their work-from-home days offset.
Right.
I think you could 100% do that. So I think it is some homeschooling just to homeschool. Homeschooling for work from home is created, but also people are having fewer kids.
Yeah. Is that your 2 things?
That's my 2 things.
Okay. But I just want to make sure you finished. I also think that like we have this negative vibe about public education across the nation. Mm-hmm. I don't know that this always applies because like when I watch, educational TikTok or Reels or Facebook, like they don't ever seem to be in Texas. Mm-hmm. They seem to be Ohio or Michigan or in the Northeast, especially the public schools. And I think that what we talked about earlier is if you adjusted the schedule a little bit, I don't even think you changed the amount of days or hours or whatever that you're in school. But if you were able to create a bigger window for vacations and things like that and change some of the attendance policies, you would see it change.
Yeah.
Like if your kid is good in school and your kid is look on this scale to graduate early, let them go home.
Yeah.
Like why not have them be there half a day and then they can go work or go do whatever they want to do. But I do think that the public school system is going to have to change a little bit. That leads in, I'm going to skip down just a little bit, but kids need recess.
Yep.
Right. When I was thinking about this too, and I asked my wife, who's an elementary school teacher, and our school district does not allow them to take away recess. Like they're not allowed to. Like as a discipline thing, they're not allowed to. So they like my son goes to recess. He has his like his PE or his pre-athletic time, and then he also has his like his arts type, whether it's music or art. So they don't just sit in the classroom for 8 straight hours.
Right.
Now, are there other states and other school districts that do that? Yes, they do exist. But now, miraculously, all this research is saying, well, these kids got to get outside. They got to do this. I'm like, teachers have been saying that for a long time. Yeah. But you've now attached high stakes testing to all of everything that we do.
Yeah.
And the whole No Child Left Behind. Well, if a kid is not allowed to be left behind because of various reasons, then there's no incentive for them to really do anything.
And I like what that article said, that it needs to be unstructured recess time.
Yes.
Like if you go to PE, it's not the same because they're having to do like basically PE curriculum.
Right.
No, they need like just free time to go run.
Yeah.
Like I say this all the time, and I'll have to say it to my wife again when the kids come home and school's out in the early summer here. Like she'll be frustrated with the kids and I'll be like, send them outside. Send them. Like if they're frustrating you inside, send them. Like thankfully our kids like to play outside, so it works. But you got to have that unstructured time.
One of the things that we are very excited about moving into a neighborhood is they are going to be able to play with some of their friends outside.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for them and I'm excited for us because we're getting to the age where it's like, you got to get outside, especially my son.
Yeah.
Like if we don't go somewhere, like we're just hanging at the house, like I'll have to go outside and throw the ball or play football or go on a bike ride or go for a walk or whatever, just to kind of burn some of that energy off.
Right.
And I can only imagine like kids that just sit in their house, sit in their school all day long and then have to go sit in their house all day long. Like that's gotta be like, that would drive me crazy. It drives me crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
As an adult.
Yeah.
Like after a while, I'm like, man, I got to get outside.
Who would have known kids need recess?
Yeah. So the government is going to revoke passports with parents who have up to $100,000 in back payments for child support.
That's a lot.
There were 2,500 that were revoked in this first wave. I was thinking about this and I was like, first off, how do you get that far behind? That's number one. Number two, why do you have a passport if you're that you're that far behind on your child support? I just can't imagine like that's a big thing, but apparently it is. Also, kamikaze dolphins. We may or may not. We cannot confirm. Pete Hegseth would not confirm nor deny.
Do we have dolphin warfighters?
Apparently we do.
Apparently.
The only thing he would confirm is that the Iranians did not have them. He did confirm that the Iranians did not have them, but we may or may not have kamikaze dolphins.
For the mines?
I don't
kamikaze
know.
dolphins, that's what it's got to be, right?
Swim into the ships. I just kind of always thought that dolphins were smarter than that. But, you know, while we're talking about the ocean, it's a bad time to go on a cruise, bud.
It is a bad time to go on a cruise.
Bad time to
We're
go
trying
on a
to
cruise.
schedule one this year.
What are you doing? Why?
We get a free cruise.
Oh, okay.
With our MGM points. And every year we get a free cruise. They have a whole list of them we can take. So none of them are in the summer.
Okay. Yeah.
And all of them are like 3-night short ones. If it's free, whatever. And cruises are all inclusive. So you just got to get yourself there. And we have a cruise terminal 4.5 hours from our house in Galveston. So, but it is like, man, that is why I we've always upgraded and paid for a balcony room. Because if there's a quarantine on the ship and everybody's got to be in the rooms, at least I can sit out on that balcony and get some fresh air. I cannot imagine like an interior room with not even a window and you're in quarantine.
I can't imagine.
You would have to shoot me.
So
I would be out that door running down the hallways up to a deck. And like, if you just want to shoot me, fine. But like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. What we're talking about is is it the hantavirus? Hantavirus. That's on one of the ships.
Just not a thing. And shout out to friend of the show, Lee Wells, for posting some really good information on that about how, listen, this is not a thing. It's like 4 people.
Yeah.
Like
the media is making it a big deal though.
Of course they are.
I did see that there was this doesn't have to do with this, but that I did see that there was an Ebola breakout in the
I saw that too.
The Congo.
Here we go.
Did I ever tell you that story? Have I ever told that story?
Did you see the Babylon Bee article that shows interesting? Like it was like funny enough. Fauci's been working on a hantavirus vaccine all this time.
No, I didn't see that, but that doesn't shock me.
That tracks.
Have I ever told the Ebola story on here?
No.
Okay, so I was working at a separate district than my wife. Okay, my wife was working at a school that was cousins with one of the nurses, or she told the district that she was cousins with one of the nurses and that she might have been exposed through that nurse.
Oh my gosh.
They shut the school down.
Yeah.
So it was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they got off. Well, my district got wind of it, that my wife worked at this school, and the superintendent calls me on my cell phone and is like, hey, no big deal. We just want you to stay home the next 2 days because we know that your wife works at that school. No one in the community really knows, but just take the next 2 days off. But it turns out that was all a lie. It turns out that lady lied.
Just trying to get out of work.
Yeah. Be on the news.
Oh yeah, that too.
But she had lied about that, and then like no one was ever even exposed. Like that lady's cousin wasn't even a nurse at that hospital.
Gosh.
Yeah, it was crazy.
She really made it up. But that had to be before the parent Facebook groups.
Oh yeah.
Because that would have been discovered. Did you see smaller district out to the west of us? Okay, and this person Facebook shows you like groups you may be interested in, and it'll show you a post from it. And I'm like, I don't have any kids in this school. I'm not interested in this, but it's a nearby school district. This parent went out and looked up every single teacher on the roster and looked up their teacher certificate.
I saw that.
And so like one of them, their license was suspended. One of them was teaching high school math, but only had a 4 through 8 math certification.
Right.
And I'm telling my wife this, and I'm like, is this actually a big deal? And she's like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Unless like some school districts will give you a year to get your extra cert.
Right.
And maybe they're doing that with this guy, but I'm like, man. And this lady went out and like straight up looked up every single
one of them.
See, if that had happened in today's days, they would have known. Like they would have been up there with pitchforks at the admin building saying, "Shut the school down."
That was about the same time that we had the NAACP marching around the building. So look that up if you ever want to look up
fun times.
marching around the
fun
school.
times for everybody.
Okay, so let me defend that.
Like a little parade.
Let me defend that school district because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
First off, your license can your certificate can expire, and it's a paperwork issue.
Yeah.
So like if it expires this month, you have until the end of the month to get it renewed. So that may be it. I don't know exactly what that particular teacher was, but you can also work as a highly qualified teacher for up to 2 years. That was one of the things we talked about with Brent Money, Representative Money, about is how they're doing away with the District of Innovation, and you can only have a certain percentage of uncertified teachers.
Right.
And that's one of the things that was passed in this legislation, and it's being like those teachers that are working under that now are going to be grandfathered in. But that's part of the problem that they're having now with hiring teachers or educators is you're going to have to really start looking at that because only a certain percentage of your staff can fall under that.
Right.
It was 10%. I think it's bumping down to 7%.
Okay.
I don't want to get the math messed up, but it's pretty close to that. But yeah, it'll be, I know exactly what you're talking about. It also happened with Salina. One of the parents in that same kind of realm went through and looked at all the certifications of that. But it's not hard to look up. Like, just Google it.
I mean, it takes some time though. This person's really committed.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really not that hard.
I don't have that much time to.
You just Google, is my teacher certified? And it pops right up.
Oh, okay.
Like it's not hard. It's really not.
You don't
that
have to
hard.
actually go to the TEA website and do a license look
well,
up
I mean,
and all
if you Google that, it will pop up with the TEA website.
Yeah,
and then it's just click on the name, fill the name in, and boom, it tells you.
Yeah.
Now there's like if you have a pretty common name, like if your name is John Smith, the list is long, so you
Right.
kind of have to
You gotta
know.
find 'em.
You have to know, but like if you have a really uncommon name, like it would be very easy to find. It's not that difficult. So kudos to the mom for searching all that up, but also district, you got to get in line with that. DoorDash has one of its highest quarters of 2020 of all time.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I had to find it on here. $933 million in the first quarter, up over $157 million from the same quarter last year.
Tell me the economy is bad and you're still door dashing people.
Okay, that's what I keep thinking.
I said it before on a podcast and got a little pushback. Listen, the economy does have its issues, but we also have an expectations problem.
100%.
Like if your outlook on the economy is bad because you don't have money for DoorDash, the economy is not the problem. Like DoorDash food is more expensive and delivery fees and all this stuff. Like,
I just I don't know, man.
if the economy was actually bad, DoorDash wouldn't be up.
Not that much.
No.
What percentage is that? I'll let you, if you have
DoorDash will go like out of business if the economy is actually bad.
But like you can now get stuff delivered to your house from the grocery store for dang near nothing.
No, I DoorDashed myself an extra suitcase because I was on a work trip and I bought a bunch of souvenirs. I was on like the accounting firm I used to work for. We did our annual meeting every year at Disney World. It's pretty nice, pretty good deal.
Yeah,
kind of missed
deal.
that. No, it's fine. But I bought the kids a bunch of Disney souvenirs and I'm like, how am I going to get this home? So I DoorDashed myself to the hotel. An extra suitcase because I fly Southwest, bags still fly free back then, and I'd literally packed a suitcase full of souvenirs so I could get it home. So yeah, you can DoorDash anything, but it cost more than just, I don't know. I didn't have a car, so it probably didn't cost more.
Well, here's another way that I know the economy is not bad. I was speaking of DoorDash is what I'm going down. I was working at a field day and I was responsible for some students and they were like, we don't really want concession stand food. Can we DoorDash? I'm like, sure, just have them deliver it outside the stadium. Make sure you just let me know and I'll walk you out there and we'll go get it. For 3 of them, would you like to guess how much it was? It was Chilosos.
$100.
$92.
Yeah.
I was like, why are y'all spending $90 on this?
And my burrito bowl at Chipotle is $12.80 if I just go pick it up.
Yes. It was $90.
So that's $40 versus $100.
Yeah.
And that's a 17% increase, by the way, for DoorDash.
Jesus.
Year over year.
That's pretty good.
Tell me the economy's bad.
That's a pretty good thing. And then last one, the small business administration. I was trying to say association, but I knew that wasn't right. Since 562 possible collections of the PP, is it the personal? What is it? The personal I have it here. Hold on. I'll pull it up.
For PPP loans?
Yes.
Paycheck Protection Program.
Yes. For fraudulent pandemic era loans.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
562.
Because basically anybody who signed up got it.
For a total of $22 billion.
Yeah.
This is one of those things that's been under the radar, and I'm really kind of interested to see how this does, because I was talking to somebody who runs a small business about this prior to this coming out. This is like at the beginning of the school year, so like September, August, and we know mutual people who took these loans out and never paid them back. Now the companies have gone under, and there's a big lawsuit going on. But regardless of that, one of the things that he said is he was saying, like, I never took it out because, one, I didn't want to depend on the revenue, and two, I didn't want to be able. I didn't ever want to have something like the government in my pocket.
Yeah.
So with this 562,000 suspected fraudulent loans, like, that's a lot of money.
Here's the thing: that's
the Paycheck Protection Program.
Yeah, that's the Trump administration doing that because they're anti-fraud. This affects both sides of the aisle. 100%. There's a lot of Republicans. There's a lot of Democrats. This isn't just like Democrat. Like, a lot of the focus with Shirley, I forget his first name, that's been around Minnesota and then out in California, has been on more like Democrat cities, Democrat states, Democrat fraud. This PPP fraud, I'm telling you, is crossing the aisle. So it'll be interesting to see the emphasis, and if some big donors don't start making some calls and being like, listen.
Well, and you'll see. I think what'll end up happening is this is kind of one of those things that get swept under the rug as it goes along.
I don't know.
But that's a lot of money too.
I mean, if they're doing DOJ referrals, then it kind of grows legs and gets a mind of its own at that point.
Anything big this week?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, kindergarten graduation, stupid 5th grade graduation. I love my 5th grader. If you don't graduate from 5th grade, but he'll get his awards and everything.
Is it because they go to a different school?
Yes. Okay. Whatever. So stupid. 8th grade too. Listen, you graduate from high school. I'm okay with kindergarten graduation. It's cute. I'm okay with that one. But 5th grade,
hard line on 5th grade and 8th grade graduation.
Graduations don't happen, which thankfully they did not do an 8th grade graduation. They did an awards ceremony. That's what they should do. But they're going to do a 5th grade graduate, whatever. There's not like cap and gowns or anything. It really is just their awards ceremony, but they're calling it graduation. I don't like that. And then all the awards this week. Kids got 4.5 days left of school, and then we have a weekend, and then we got like senior Sunday, so we got all the big table and their Letterman jacket and all that kind of stuff for moms putting together, and then graduation's on Tuesday, and then dadgummit, it's boat season. We got all this stuff on the calendar. I need off the dadgum calendar because like it'll be time to get on the boat.
I thought about you as it was really warm and I was driving over the lake. I was like, oh, there's some boats out there. I wonder if Clint's got his ready yet.
Not mine.
Not yours.
Mine is on the lift and the
slip.
slip.
That's what happens when you have all the kids.
No, they like the boat. We just got to get out of this school thing.
Yeah, we got high school graduation this week, and then summer. Man, I'm excited. I'm ready for summer. So, all right, man. Have a great week.
Yeah.